clicked it.
Remix. Remix. Remix.
What it do, nigga?
What's happening?
Man, now shit, what's going on with you guys?
Man, I don't know. Long days, long nights.
Doing what? You in the studio making a rap album?
Yeah, man. You know, I've been putting my some bars together and shit. You know,
You're so
you know,
stupid.
and, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, like the Port of Miami, Rick Ross. Huh. But
you don't want to do that. You don't want to be a corrections officer, brother.
No, corrections officer.
You're right. What's up, though?
How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. I'll never forget that the city of Miami and Israeli General Counsel made it very clear. Oh, and Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, that is not Rick Ross, that is Officer William Leonard Roberts II. I just want y'all to know that. She called him by that name.
Frederica said this is his real government name.
At an award ceremony. Oh no, it was to let y'all know that if the call came, he would take it right here for law enforcement. That's what she said. Yeah, man. Yeah, very interesting. 5,000 role models. Ask Ricky about it. I'll let you know. Anyway, peace and good morning, y'all. Other than that, I'm doing fine.
Man, listen. You know what so interesting. There's a community person who kind of do some work with young people. We're doing some work with young people too in this space. And they were telling me the other day how like they went to school with Rick Ross or something like that. And because he's here now, they be like he be doing things with the kids, right? Now, interestingly, like there be like police in the space. And one of the kids, I can't remember his name, and I ain't gonna say his name if I did. But she be like, oh, he's a live one, like he be in trouble, he be just doing his thing or whatever, right? And but she said for some reason he don't like the police. He call them the ops. He like little, so he be like, they the ops. And he's like, and he was like, one day, Miss So-and-so, like, I don't mess with them because they shot that man. And she was like, well, what that man do? He said, it don't really matter. That man had mental health issues, and he had to respond to that man like that. Like, again, this is like the dude ain't nothing but, I don't know, 7. He's not old at all. But she's like, man, get away from me because you ain't, you know. And she like shooting him off, but he like his analysis is there. I don't know if his daddy told him whatever is his, but just kind of like I thought about like with Ross, like
he know what's up.
How she is kind of like unknowingly maybe pro police, even that like I think about other conversations we had, like she just maybe she believe in the idea of what police supposed to be, and that's why they're supposed to have a particular regard with not knowing the contradictions, and he's like not even 10 and know the contradiction already. So shout out all the people influenced by Rick. That dude little, bro. I don't know. I gotta probably get his age because he
kids.
His brother probably like 12 or 13. His brother, so he like way young, like he way younger than his brother. So
he can join our YN Academy anytime.
I would love to open that with you, Amber.
No, we have a YN Academy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, here.
Who opened that?
It's in our BLM chapter.
What's the age cutoff?
It's like 18 to 24.
Yeah,
like,
I can't. I'm well past my YN prime. I can't do it. Otherwise,
I took our little YN Academy to this event the mayor did yesterday to disrupt his shit. They did so good. I'm so proud of them.
I love that.
They did. One of them struggled a little bit. We're gonna talk to her. We're gonna get her together. Because I said, how the fuck you gonna get nervous?
Everybody gets nervous. Just don't know when.
Yeah, but you know, dealing with niggas, they see you nervous, they trying to buck back.
So
was like, well, let me ask you a question. So now I had to jump in and be like, nah, nigga, we ain't finna do that from across the room because I wasn't sitting with him because, you know, it was a real setup. It's a true setup. And we ain't have just black YNs. We had Hispanic folks too. We had everybody.
Yeah, I think everyone needs that. They need a chance to fail, but they also need somebody who's got some experience to back them up. If you know, they get a little nervous. But we have a checking question Josh laced us with. I'm just saying hi to the infamous chat.
Oh yeah, hi guys. It's 12:12, and in Memphis they're making it a big deal.
We be in here out there in the real world, and then when we get here, we just we so happy to see each other. We forget about the chat. Yo, we ain't even welcome in the chat. How y'all doing? You know,
they file in a little late. They know.
We just had experience with the Get Out. We just come from the Get Out experience, and now we back and we see y'all. We like,
yeah.
Shout out to the chat, man. How y'all feeling? Welcome to the Remix Morning Show. Geechee, Lorik, Amber, and the undefeated chat. How y'all feeling?
That's definitely the fourth guest.
That's definitely the fourth guest.
Or host, I should say. Well, yeah, I knew this was gonna come. So Amber, you already got it. Now you got to explain to the people what's the YN.
Chitty Macha, no. Don't do that.
She's our group of young nobles, you know, who
young nobles
fellowshipping with. We got them going through a little fellowship to learn organizing, and you know, been doing different projects with them. Some of them are writing like ordinances right now. It's like a year-long fellowship they're in, and we just, you know, I pop into class and like do some trainings with them here and there, and then we did like a little experiment yesterday with this action of like getting them to go to an event in person.
I love it.
I mean, I think the RNA. Well, I think the Republic of New Africa need to take that, and they should be the YNA. Young New African.
Young New African YNA.
I'm sorry, I really just played it. I'm sorry, but yeah, they're our fellows, and we just called them our little YN Academy as a little joke. And actually, me and the mayor have a YN joke about, like, you know, how we should not just be throwing away the YNs, we should be investing in them, and like that's part of the, like, you know, budget stuff I talked about on here last week. But like, we shouldn't be like villainizing, you know, young people, because I feel like people turn the term YN into like a bad thing of like, you know, we're fearing these people, which is actually fucking insane. You fearing some 19-year-olds, but also like we shouldn't be doing that. So we just kind of like flip it around. That's all. A little jokey joke.
I think the first thing I was gonna say is that's how I hope it's done. I don't think you were here, Amber, the quarter zip discourse week, but I talked about how
I'm so over the quarter zip shit.
It's fine, right? Exactly. It was like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fine if like Black youth get to do it among themselves, and then as soon as it leaves that to either older people or non-Black people, it's over, and it's gonna be horrible discourse and appropriated. So I feel the same way about the YN discourse. Like, it was funny, inter-community wise. Like, I could see how people were using it. Like you said, it could be a joke on our end, but as soon as, first of all, I mean, I'm watching like non-Black creators say YN, and that already, I was just
and
like,
I'd be like, y'all don't even know what you're talking about. Don't talk about our shit.
That's exactly how it was gonna go, though. I just knew it. I'm like, yep, it's just,
also,
if you give white people a way to say nigger without saying nigger, like,
basically, it's literally what it is. My favorite YNs are on TikTok, though. I told you about the guy who was doing like the trainings and stuff, showing you like how to do CPR on a baby, or like how do you survive stabbing, or did I show y'all those?
No, you mentioned them. You didn't show us, so I'd be curious.
I showed Jerry. It was when Jerry was still here. This was a while ago. Like, this was like last year. But he's my favorite one. He still be making videos too. The one he made about surviving a nuclear attack. I said, shit, let me save this. This is good.
Yeah, you got to plug this person. That's what I was gonna say. What's this person's social so we could plug them properly? I know.
TikTok. I'm gonna find
because I got on Instagram's community historian, I believe. And they're pretty good. They're young. And then obviously Geechee's brought on comrade CJ out of St. Louis. So I wanted to shout CJ the X, I believe. And then I want to look up the community historian one to make sure I'm, giving them the proper credit. But Okay, we have a check-in question for us in chat as well. As always, we invite you to join in. But what language, if you learned it, would assist you in becoming an even better organizer right now? So I guess the question is, if we could pick up a new language right now, what would be the first one you grab?
I think, and shout out to Manning. Me and Manning talked, and I didn't even tell y'all, but I think we should one day or some days, he won't mind coming on every now and then, jumping on, talking some stuff from Manning's perspective. So shout out to Manning's. But I would say, I would stop bullshitting and get bilingual. Well, not bilingual. I say trilingual in Spanish. I feel like I've been over in Spanish speaking countries for 4 or 5 years, and numbers, food, directions, I'm like decent enough, but like conversational stuff, I just be like, I'd be lazy and I don't be studying. So I felt like I could have been better at it in time. So I feel like if I get that out, I'll be good. So Spanish is my answer.
Spanish. Amber?
I already know Spanish, so maybe getting better at it, like better at conversational Spanish.
Are you fluent enough that if they dropped you off somewhere, you'd be able to figure it out, start a life?
I can understand people. I just don't speak back as fast. Like people here talk a little bit. People here talk a little slower, but like when I was in Puerto Rico, they talk fast as fuck, and I was like,
yes.
And
I need the Latin American diaspora to do their rankings, because I wouldn't even put Puerto Ricans on the fastest end. They might be purely the middle, or even some might even say they're on the slow end, which is crazy. Cubans down here,
Dominicans.
When I was in New York, there was no way. My Spanish was not getting me through. In the grocery store, even I was like, nah.
What about you, Lord?
Well, we should be learning the top 10 African languages. That's an interesting point, right? That's why this question was asked. And I also think that's why.
Wait, what?
I think that's if you're going to Africa.
I was going to say, so I think it depends on you.
Wait, that's not a top 10 African languages, right? Because why would
French? So that was my first. So I raised this comment for me. Since we're Black, we should be learning the top 10 African languages: Swahili, Arabic, French, Hausa, English, Aramaic, Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani, and Oromo. I think that's the top 10 languages spoken in Africa, because as we know, French and English certainly aren't African languages. So that would be. I do hear that. And yeah, I think it just depends on the context in which you're organizing. I know George Jackson said he was learning Arabic, I think Spanish and Chinese. For me, in Miami, there's no question. It's Spanish. It's Spanish. And so I brought this up because I think African language is also interesting. But Creole, Haitian Creole, would be one that I immediately
actually understand a lot of Creole. Because, Creole is like Pidgin. Creole and Pidgin are pretty similar.
Well,
and it's just like broken. Creole. Huh?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought basically what they call what we do to the language Creole. So for instance, like English Creole would be Gullah or Patois or So
because one of my friends is Haitian, and I usually understand her when she's talking to her parents. It's actually not that hard. But
you speak French?
Huh?
You speak French or
no? When she's speaking Creole.
How do you understand it if you don't? What's your base on
the words just sound? I don't know if it's just me or what, but like to me, when you listen to someone say it a lot, the words sound very similar than like English words. They just change them a little bit, just like Pidgin. Like Pidgin is just like broken English.
I don't know. I grew up here in Haitian Creole, so I kind of actually understood it verbally until I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I've never read anything. I've heard people speaking it and like understood. I also think that like naturally, if I'm watching someone speak it, I'm using like their body language and stuff too to understand what they're saying. But Pidgin especially was very easy for me because I used to be a nanny for a Cameroonian family that had 5 kids and they spoke Pidgin. And I didn't even realize they were speaking Pidgin at first immediately because it literally just sounded like broken English. And then Like it just sound like English, and then some of the words will change at the end. Like the beginning will be English, and then you change a little bit towards the end, and then that's how Creole started sounding to me.
You know what? You know what's interesting? I think I just did some colonizing shit based off of how I said it, because I think that was a misconception, and my homeboy's son Michaud actually talks about that often, where he teaches Gullah in Harvard. But so, for instance, just like language, like concepts don't have many. Like we've been having the conversation, like what would manhood mean, and basically, like you would be trying to explain how this person who shows up with this particular way should show up in community, that the community decides that keeps it going. And so it's kind of the same thing with language. Like if you're speaking to communicate with yourself and you're picking up on other grunts that other people have, it should still be called a language as opposed to a Creole version of something. So a Creole version of something sounds like black capitalism. I mean, or black capitalism or Black Wall Street. And really, like the centering of it is still something white, and now it's like the black version of something white. So,
right,
yeah, I stand corrected. Creole.
Yeah, I think this comment by Stono summarized the two Creole speakers don't use broken to describe the ways we speak. So, yeah, I would describe it that way too. I would say a lot of people who speak French, like the structure and a lot of the vocab is similar in Creole, but it's more intuitive, I would say, more straightforward. And then, yes, there are a lot of African elements infused into the language itself. So, yeah, I just think Creole is probably the best way to put it. But it's interesting, like, is it an African language? Definitely, right? But it is very French rooted. Somewhat so that if you learn French. Right. So that's why I asked this question the other day, because I'm like, is it an African language? It was definitely a new African language. But on its own, I think it's got so much similarities in parentage in French that, yeah, you just have to call it a new African creation or a Creole. Like,
I didn't know that people called it Creole English, because like when I've seen people like list languages, it just says Creole. So I didn't know that like there's different versions.
Well, yeah, I guess what that Creole language was influenced by is what people are probably saying. Like, so if they have contact with these people, then that Creole would have some traces of that. And maybe it's because of what they had to do tactically or politically to like navigate the space. But yeah, I do think that's quite funny. And then I wonder if there's the argument that all languages come out of Africa, because even before those people went over there, they came out of Africa. Like, so I wonder.
Well, yeah, you know that, and I do not buy that argument at all. But I do think that like some languages, like Arabic, I think got raised again as an interesting one, because North Africa, Southeast Europe, West Asia all contributed to its development. But
yeah,
I'm not a linguist, so I would be curious.
Somebody asked where the list comes from.
Is.
But when you said
top 10 languages spoken, that looks accurate though. I mean, off top, that looks accurate. I don't know if it's in order or what, but when the Kwame Ture speaks
I'm not
about
trying to learn Arabic. I'm not going
organizing in Africa, he lists those languages, I'm pretty sure. So I think those are maybe the top 10 spoken, but we can't leave out Spanish, no question. And for my immediate organizing context, plus how much I've actually studied it and spoken over the years, it's embarrassing that I don't. So that's my next journey. I will definitely be learning Spanish. Haitian Creole is gonna be, I might have to be a lot more intentional.
Yeah, but you in Miami, so like that makes sense.
I get more exact. I mean, it's true, and then I get the whole Latin America opened up. If I get Creole and Spanish, I can,
So y'all tell me this real quick. So I've been back in my Amos Wilson bag, and every time I get in the bag with listening and reading, there's a couple things that always open up. So Amos Wilson always talk about domination, hegemony, and how the people who are in control, they also control the domains of discourse. And so sometimes I'm always thinking about like, what if a white think tank even really came up with the concept of YN, and then it was like infusing people's thoughts, and then people start saying things and whatever. And then, so the main question is, do you think whenever you talk about these people being in control of the domains of discourse, do you think somebody thought about like years later, these niggas gonna be arguing about language and or is it just kind of like a happenstance to the other intentions of just domination? Like they're not like extremely scientific and perfectly designing it, or this is like the results of all the other shit that's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of this is from the government, but I will say YN is some shit we've been saying in Memphis actually for a long time. Like I was saying that shit in high school. Like there was a term we've been using here, but I definitely feel like the government was like, let's say it. Let's have everybody saying that shit. Let's put it all over social media.
But before the government, I'm saying like there's always like an elite who utilize the government to do things. So I'm like, even before then, like, because what Amos argues, like a lot of these things are happening in white think tanks, and those think tanks just like suggested to the government, but it kind of also suggested, well, here's $10. Now say this. So
Yeah. I think. Well,
I don't even think it's that. I don't even think it's that much of like, here's $10. It's like we'll just platform you, say this shit.
Yeah.
They don't even be giving the money for real.
Yeah.
Niggas sell out
This
for free all the
comment
time.
reminded me where I was going, which is my brother's Brazil speaks Portuguese, feels like it's his second homeland, and he just found a copy of Black Marxism over there in Portuguese, like Cedric Robinson, and it's interesting because the cover even looks different. It's a bunch of Black people, it looks like on a farm, compared to just the letters that you see in the West. So I even think that's interesting how the languages, how something is spread across languages. Like, we wouldn't have Fanon if we didn't get him out of the French language. What's it called? Francophone sphere, right? That kind of thing. So I just think about that, like different places have to break that barrier. And if they have certain resources, they can. But I've also been thinking one white boy we got to have on the platform eventually. Gabriel Rockhill, doing some great work. And he's not the first to say this, but recently he's been talking about they don't have to build the strings anymore, right? Because if it's a puppet, you can see the strings. They just buy the puppet factory. So I think about that as what you're describing, Geechee. And we talk about that with like a Killer Mike and with a lot of these Black celebs. Like, you just got to own the thing that creates them. Like I just said with Rick Ross at the beginning at 5,000 Role Models, own the pipeline itself. And at every single stage, there's counterinsurgency, whether the people know it or don't. So I feel like that was probably how it is. I do not give them all the credit. They barely understand our language. So I don't think they could create this stuff. I don't think they're that creative or tapped in. But once it's there, yeah, you're right. They can promote certain videos. They can, like I already said, as soon as it leaves our community, it's out of our control. So yeah.
But I think, but even though when I say they, I'm talking about the elite of they, because like most of them are just operating on the same thing that the elite. So for instance, what I first thought about is like the same way they're trying to. So I remember like there's this on stage with John Hope Bryant and some other white folks, and they was like how AI don't know how to respond to Black folks, so they hire a Black person to code AI to kind of interact with Black folks. And so just how they program an AI to, produce the programming of us already kind of like that's already taken large amount of time. And even how people have come and maybe still trying to come to the realization that the Willie Lynch letters is not actually real, but there was a book on how to manage your enslaved folks that it kind of like built off. And so that book is there, and somebody did write that book. Somebody did, and there's always people who kind of study these particular things and use people as lab rats to do it. So I wouldn't say they as an all, but they do have like people in them spaces that like kind of shift, like you should be thinking about this. And then they, as we know, they also have a way of isolating the thinkers of them who are more radical. So that's why it's really hard for niggas to pick up Marx, because they're like, wait, Marx is a thinker like the rest of them, but he just his thoughts contradicted what like the mainstream thoughts was. So
yeah. Amber, you got some thoughts? I have an article that made me think of
no, because I don't want to learn any of those languages.
It's a lot of work. It reminds me. Well, I mean, if I had time, I would learn as many as possible. But this article in Current Affairs, who actually gets to create Black pop culture? I don't think it's anything super out of the realm of what we talk about all the time on this platform. I actually think back to the combo we talked about earlier with Killer Mike and Charlemagne's hat saying we need more Black billionaires, to your point about the messaging and how subtle it is. And that's when I'm in that conspiracy theory bag where I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Everything in this room is a message. Everything is propaganda, right? So why is he wearing this hat? Why are they having this conversation? And to your point, it goes on about basically the class dynamic, beginning with James Baldwin. You see there were two Harlems. There were those who lived in Sugar Hill, and there was the Hollow where we lived. There was a great divide between Black people on the hill and us. I was just a ragged, funky Black shoeshine boy and was afraid of the people on the hill who, for their part, didn't want to have anything to do with me. And so really appreciated James Baldwin pointing out, obviously, class differences in our community. But in this era, right, it's very interesting how even those are abused for credit and things like that, where you have people who are from James Baldwin's neighborhood, but who see themselves as a Sugar Hill Negro, essentially. And I think that is where we get into the trickiness in this era. They're very good at picking people from different pockets of the Black community and then feeding them with the same propaganda. And then the way they spit out that propaganda is unique depending on where they came from in the first place. So I think that's like probably the most complicated element. If they pick out, Black poor person who hustled in real estate and was able to become a realtor or something, they're going to spit certain EYL kind of business fantasies. They might fall into crypto. So like the propaganda goes in the same, and then different people just do different functions. And I think that's why it's so complicated, unfortunately.
Oh, Geechee came back.
But yeah.
So
we are all right. So our languages, we got our languages. Yeah, I mean, now we got to act on it. So y'all will see progress.
I do know Spanish. I'm just trying to be more conversational, but I'm actually not interested in learning Portuguese or those other things. I'm not interested in learning Arabic because I feel like the North African niggas who think they white, they piss me off with that. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
In order. We just kind of talk about the order. There's a part of me that agrees, but there's also a massive part of me that's very Malcolm and would love to communicate with that part of the world and understand how central they are to struggle and our Palestinian comrades.
I mean, like, even I think one of the things that I was reminded when I was in Central America for a long times, I always be like, and they do it too, but like I'll be like America when I refer to US, when it's like all that shit is America, right? North, South, Central. And the reality is a lot of them, the struggles are kind of varying differences. I remember like having a conversation with Jared Ball and then like Avi Chomsky, who's kind of like uncovering work in Central and South America that like speaks to Jared's work around how like in Central and South America, their workers are producing shit that's being like exported somewhere else, and their governments and propaganda media don't have to tell them niggas about their buying power because them niggas know they don't got no money. Here, we ain't got no money, but we convinced we got buying power. And so like the struggle for workers are different. But in terms of the clarity, like almost every book's kind of to Laura's point, almost every book that we can think of a foundational text, like they already had the Spanish version a long time ago. Like when I found out like How to Read Donald Duck was like published in Spanish, like immediately the same time in English, like, and then, I was luckily to have like facilitate a study group of that in Spanish. So I just think like, that's why for me, Spanish, because our proximity to all the Africans that are in Central and South America, it would be good to like organize and then go to the other side too.
Right, and of course we know this again. It's just a reaction, slightly problematic, but we understand absolutely.
I mean, I definitely know that. I still don't want to learn
comrades and all those things, and I would, because I do want to speak to my people everywhere that they might be. But yes, definitely.
Use AI.
I think after I went to Africa,
use AI. Using AI, we were talking about this when we tried to watch the Burkina Faso Family Code video, and y'all were like, these French captions
They
This
was
looks like
mad at us. I said,
AI.
shit,
I
do
was
you want to know
like,
what he's saying or not? Hell.
I was like, I mean, I don't speak French. So we're back to it. Yes, absolutely. So if I saw a video in Arabic or French, I would definitely want to understand without the chat. Shout out Brother Siraj. A colonial informant was a local person, often indigenous or from colonized region, who provided crucial information, guidance, and access to European colonizers, scientists, or administrators. Absolutely. We should put that in there. And all the terms. That should be in the remix because there's so many terms. Every colonized segment has a term for the colonial informant. In Black America, we, of course, call them coons, Uncle Toms, handkerchief head Negroes, things of that nature. In PAIGC in Guinea-Bissau, they called them assimilados, I believe. So I want to make a list. Gusano is for the Cubans.
Yeah, you go ahead. You make that list.
In Vietnam, there was running dogs. Yeah, I need a list because we have to know all the colonial informant terms. I want top to bottom.
Buckras.
Buckra, thank you. Yeah.
Don't
We got a few ways. Wait, Buckras is for coons?
No, those the oh, we talking about for white folks.
Yeah, we tell you because I was like Buckras is white people. No, I'm talking about the term we have for traders in our communities. I saw the Iranians had one too.
Well, the coon, them the baby buckras, man. They inspiring buckras.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? FBA to the list. Walter Ronnie called them white-hearted men, and that one's been going crazy.
Active early in the morning.
Oreo cookies.
Oreo. See, that one is tough because people
don't
just
like
be
that
using
one.
it. Yeah, people use that one wrong. I feel like Uncle Tom has a very clear, like, you're black and function.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like about. I said this. My biggest takeaway from the Drake Kendrick beat is that they're both coons, and by calling Drake a white boy, you distract that they're two different types of coon. Mm-hmm. And coon is perfect because it describes black people who betray black people. And if that is the thing you're trying to say about Drake, he's confused. He is a colonizer, or he's confused. He's a colonial informant. Then coon is the proper word. He is a black person who's an informant. But when you say white boy or Jew, like Rick Ross did, you confuse the issue. And then, of course, you put all the smoke on your black biracial brother who's Jewish, and not the Israeli general consul gave you an award in Miami, as I said at the beginning. I guess this is an anti-Rick Ross day.
It gotta be.
But I can't let it slide.
I do just want to add that I think that some of my view around the language thing is from going to Africa and like seeing the way language was weaponized by other people, which made me not want to learn those things. Like
going to where in Africa?
I was in West Africa. I was in Ghana. I went to Accra, Cape Coast, a few other places, but like learning about like the Dutch, the Portuguese, and other shit they was doing. I just didn't want to learn that language. But I actually have learned some parts of like some African languages like Tree and other stuff, but the other ones I'm just not interested in. And I think that that's perfectly fine for me. I think other people, if they want to learn all that shit, they can. But I'm good.
Learn all that shit.
This is an interesting one. About how terms live and things live in our community. Geech, I know you brought the Willie Lynch letter up earlier. And so my whole point, when someone will say, that's not real, like it's kind of like comparing, like when you correct someone, you're like, it's your, YOU apostrophe RE. And it's like, but what the sentence say though? Like the sentence is still fine. Like you're focused on this little piece. So every time someone says the Willie Lynch letter, I'm like, okay, but the Turner Diaries exist. But we have records of Thomas Jefferson and how he used to do shit to his slaves. We had the records of what they did to Haitians, eating their kids with dogs. So I just, for me, whenever someone says that, and it's usually a coon, a grifter, or someone who's trying to downplay that in our community, I'm always like, you should be able to follow up with a real version. Because there are real life versions. There's a professor who did research on early capitalism and how the factory system was, the practices we see in factories were set up in plantations. Mm-hmm. So even that to me is like, okay, we don't have the Willie Lynch letter, but we have how your modern workplace literally got its strategies from a plantation. Like we should focus on that. I said that because this is another term where I'm like, Uncle Tom, if you know the actual history, was based on Josiah Henson, and that Uncle Tom in the play isn't even like a bad guy. It's kind of like how Frankenstein gets called Frankenstein, like the monster, when it should be the doctor kind of situation. So I wanted to talk about Uncle Tom because I feel like there's the way we use it and that Malcolm understood it, but then there's also this history there that gets a little bit confused. So I use it that way. I also think Uncle Tom's made up.
Run sheet, but I'm gonna let you do your thing.
We on a run sheet. We just our check-in went everywhere.
That's what you get.
It's true. I know. I feel
I
like
do just want to say this is my favorite time of year. You know, we getting towards the end of the year. I done started cussing niggas out and dropping them from the roster so we can start over. And my cuss sessions have gotten like real good this year. Niggas been taking a few days to respond back because they feelings hurt and it's working. So yeah, love that for me. I know that y'all are
Uncle Tom's. Is that what
committed? So y'all not experiencing what I'm experiencing. But this is my favorite thing to do every year. I'll be like, oh, it's getting close to Christmas. Let me lock in and start dropping people.
Cut people off
Immediately.
The run sheet is not a myth and a figment. In fact, if you check the show description, links and sources and show description, the run sheet is right there.
Let me run sheet real quick. So this is the book I was talking about. They actually used to have workshops. They used to have workshops on this person used to go around with workshops. It's because advice among masters, the ideal and slave management in the Old South.
Oh shit.
So that's what largely the Willie James Willie, what do you call a guy named Willie Lynch letters. Yeah. But that person, you know, used to do little workshops and go around and teaching the elite white how to better manage employee management. You know, the same trainers that go around and talk about do with your employees and HR. And that was he's the father of HR, I guess.
That's crazy stuff. And it's we flowing over, but it's all related. Like Geechee's point about
I'm just fucking with you.
I know we are the manipulation of it all and how this stuff spreads. Like again, owning the Puppet Factory. I don't know if they knew this or didn't. I feel like if you have a multi-million-dollar Hollywood production, you should actually do research. But hey, you don't really do it. But in Great Debaters, a movie I recommend because everyone says I hate everything. Excellent
I love
movie.
Great Debaters.
Excellent movie. But Will Smith, damn. No. Denzel Washington has a very, impassioned Denzel type rant about the Willie Lynch letter. And he says, you take the strongest nigger males and you break them. And then this was Willie Lynch. And so he tells it really convincingly. That kind of thing can be clipped on YouTube and social media and it goes everywhere. And then another generation of youth, of course, keep the Willie Lynch fantasy alive. So get a little. I'm quoting Denzel in the speech. I want to play it.
He is quoting the speech.
Yeah. You got to watch the movie. Lots of amazing speeches in there, but Willie Lynch did not say any of that shit because he wasn't real.
I do want to highlight a little something. I know like some folks are following like local government budgets and shit like that. And my friend Tyson has been working on a guarantee-based income campaign in Chicago in Cook County. And like 4 years ago, they approved this pilot program and he led this campaign there to push them to like fund it permanently. And they voted to fund it yesterday for $7.5 million, a guarantee-based income program in Chicago. And they'll get people who are in the income bracket will get $500 every month for like a permanent basis right now. And I just think that's really fucking cool because the like impact report they had for folks who have been getting the guarantee-based income was really, really good and really showed the impact of like making sure folks needs are met. So I want to shout out my nigga Tyson because he's been working hard on that campaign and it was a really, really big deal because $7.5 million is a lot of money. And niggas ain't trying to get it to people real easily.
Yeah, and my mistake if I missed, where's that money coming from? Where was it fundraised?
From Cook County, like the government.
Cook County, okay, the government themselves are just wow.
The Cook County commissioners voted on it, so like it comes from their budget. For the county.
Yeah,
nice.
And a lot of times, isn't it in like a particular? Because I know Atlanta was kind of like experiment with it, but I don't think it's a whole Atlanta. And then there's a certain, obviously layers of how you know about it and then apply for it. But yeah.
For the pilot, it was like this. So like the pilot, I think what you're talking about is what Atlanta did was a pilot in a certain neighborhood, and they did a pilot in Cook County too. But this permanent program is for the entire county, so it's not
Okay.
just for a specific area. And exactly, like somebody said in the chat, socialism works. It does work. And
Yes.
so now they're going to try to expand it into Jackson, Mississippi. I'm excited about that. I said put Memphis on the list. Actually, our mayor has talked about a guaranteed based income and has asked me to like walk through what that would look like, because one of our state senators heard him talk about it and tried to pass a bill to prohibit cash payments of a guaranteed based income. And I said he's so fucking stupid because we could just put it on a direct deposit or whatever. So I told him put us on the list because I'm trying to do that, John.
Yeah.
Question from the chat for you, Amber, or I guess just for verification, the money came from revenue made on marijuana sales?
I don't know. So I can ask him. I was watching the meeting yesterday, and then I don't know if y'all follow Raven Reveals. She's like this Jewish girl who makes content about like anti-Semitism, but also policy and stuff too. And she and I have like been at some different like organizing events together for like unions and stuff, because she does a lot of stuff around unions like SEIU and stuff like that. And so that's how I know her. And she posted a video about it and gave like some of the details about the income bracket you have to be in and stuff like that. But she didn't say where the money came from. And when I was watching the vote, they didn't say it either. So I probably have to read the actual like ordinance that they passed. But I was very excited for him. He's been working on this for a year. And he's in this fellowship that I was doing, the Movement Leader Fellowship that I told y'all about. He's in the fellowship with me. That's how I met Tyson. But Tyson's also the co-founder of Black with No Chaser, which is a really cool media platform. And yeah, so he's been working on this for a while. And during like the middle of our fellowship, they sent like 500 people to Chicago and canvassed, like did like a canvas blitz to let folks know about the guaranteed based income and push them on it. And that got a lot of like community members involved who advocated for it. That really helped them to get over the hump of like getting the votes.
Shout out to the policy organizers and the people who do PE using policies to radicalize people. Because niggas just be sleeping on that massive education skill. Real quickly, this made me think of this thing that I used to, speaking of Amos, reading Amos's work, he has on Blueprint for Black Power a list of all, because again, white people build wealth through violence, public policy. How do I do it? Like this? Boom. Oh no,
it's still hard. Nah, there we go. Yeah. Now you got it.
So they build wealth off of violence, public policy, and then fraud. They can legalize fraud and then call it an industry. But this kind of starts from the 1500s. They took people land. Now how do I go down? Oh, then 1500. I'm on that. It goes all the way here and just keep going. And then it's on my Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I had it.
1780.
I was gonna look at that later.
Then it keep going and it keep going all the way till
it goes on.
Yeah. Then it got to the projected parts where the speculative this, and then 53 we ain't gonna have no goddamn money.
Can we talk about that one? I bring that one up to people sometimes and they look at me like I'm an alien. But there is I have a study saved that median Black household wealth is set to hit 0 by 2050.
53, yeah.
53, yes. Jared mentions this all the time, and he has economists like Derek Hamilton who point this out. But it's from a particular study. Give me a second, and I'm gonna pull it up for us so we can look. But I think that's just an important one for us to all have in our back pocket on people, on those Black capitalists who have no answer for this at all, because you can't answer it.
And the study was done before COVID, and COVID might have exacerbated that. So that number might 53. Yeah, it might happen before 53 at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's like climate change as well, where I feel like all of those, they have a thing, but in reality, it's potentially far worse. Okay, just for our folks in the audience who do like to learn, like me, I want to show our source, like how I got there. So I Googled this, obviously. Net worth. No, who do want to learn? Who do? So I Googled this stat, right? Like net worth, Black families, whatever. And then you get an AI summary, which we've talked about on this platform. Do not trust that, right? Obviously, it might be kind of okay, but then you want to actually find the study. So they tell you the study it was called. I'm going to click on a Google article like this, or a Guardian article. Boom, boom, boom. And then immediately, you can read this article for the summary. We do that a lot, but I'm going to look for where it says the study. And then every article should link the study. For younger organizers out there, that's how you want to do the research, to actually find the thing you're talking about, not rely on the AI overview. So I click on this, and this is exactly the report I remember. So I know I'm in the right place. The Road to Zero Wealth. And you just open it up. And right there. So just Geechee's stat was correct, but I know sometimes people get a little confused about that. What do you mean net worth is going to be zero? Where is that coming from? Who put this together? And there it is. Did I say Derek Hamilton? I think I meant Diedrich Muhammad.
Yeah, Dietrich.
Diedrich Muhammad.
But Derek and Sandy don't have something that also said it as well.
Yeah. So just wanted to point that out for Geechee's thing. Definitely look through this. But yes, we are on track to hit zero wealth, just like this country is on track to lead climate collapse. And because
I did pull up an article from Chicago about the guaranteed income program. Real quick, I'm gonna just show y'all. Yeah. It's coming from the money comes from the equity fund. So it says the county allocated $7.5 million to the program in its fiscal year 2026 budget, and that money will come from the county's equity fund. Reserve federal pandemic money can also be used in the future of the program, a county spokesperson said. And that reserve money is like the interest they got from the money. So like a lot of people who might not know this, like when we were getting those American Rescue Plan dollars, they put them in equity funds in governments, like local governments, and you get interest off of that. So like all those governments have interest funds from that money that they can use unrestricted, but a lot of them don't talk about it, so nobody knows. And their equity fund for Cook County is a normal equity fund that they have for their government period. So I don't know if it's coming directly from the marijuana sales, but I know probably part of it is. But it's like their equity fund of like their whole entire budget. So any kind of equity they're getting off of like property sales, stuff like that, are from that account. I hope that answered the person's question who's asking it.
Thank you for that. What was the other one? There was this is an important. I like this comment. As an educator, so this analysis, the net worth zero means nothing to Black capitalists. They are flat earthers of political economy. Yeah, absolutely. They do not like evidence. No matter what evidence you show, it comes back to this cult. But what I would say though is I don't think the average person has the evidence to disprove flat Earth, and that's something that takes a lot of humility to know in our society. But like if a kid were to ask you, okay, the Earth is round, prove it, right? I had the same thing when I first started teaching, and a kid asked me, why is the sky blue? And I'm like, I mean, I could just lie like a lot of adults do or be lazy, but let's go to Wikipedia. Oh, Rayleigh scattering. How do I explain Rayleigh scattering to a 6-year-old? So I think that is something that we want to be in the practice of doing. Even though Black capitalists are flat earthers, we should have our respective, like, this is a simple experiment you can do to prove that the earth isn't flat. And I don't think everybody has it offhand, just like I don't think everyone offhand can be like, this is a simple way, or this report, simple thing that disproves Black capitalist thinking. So that's what I like to think about, like the Willie Lynch thing. Geechee had that on hand.
The birds aren't real thing started in Memphis.
That conspiracy that birds aren't real started in Memphis.
Somebody bought a billboard in Memphis and it said birds aren't real.
Yep.
And them niggas.
I ain't never heard of that.
Let me find this. Yes, I gotta keep tabs on all the.
I think the birds are real. My
wait
on my windows all the time.
Wait, are they saying the concept of birds aren't real, but the specific types of birds? Like what? I don't even get that.
No,
I don't know.
Birds aren't real. They ain't never seen no baby birds. They ain't never seen no baby pigeons.
But that's what that.
Speaking of our methodology, here we are. Okay, so we all Wikipedia because I remember this. I know Amber's not like
I'm with Zinzi. I'm with Zinzi.
I'm sorry. I should have told y'all. But that billboard did start in Memphis, and that should also let you know that Memphis is not a real place. When I talk about Memphis,
birds aren't real.
Place,
like who got money to just put a billboard up like this and then even
white people. White people.
Yeah, I was gonna say Peter Mickendoe. Let's see. Birds on Rails is a satirical conspiracy theory that says birds are drones. And again, the thing we talk about with conspiracy theories is in our community we have a bunch of
Oh,
evidence
okay,
and
okay,
things.
okay.
They say they never
Uh,
seen a bird. There's
but
a baby. They never
Well,
seen.
no, well, you didn't finish it because when you said birds
yeah, I
aren't
was
real,
gonna
I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? But then saying all of it is drones, yeah,
right.
okay, now,
Yes.
Yeah, like I was
Which
in the birds aren't real movement thing.
yeah, but
You ever
I
heard
didn't,
of
I never heard of this shit.
that?
Like,
right, but this here's the thing about the conspiracy. My only thing with conspiracy theories like flat earthers, I'm just like, you guys have no power analysis. Like, who benefits? Like, who's is it
No.
big map? Like, who benefits from the flat Earth conspiracy theory textbook publishers? Like, I don't understand. Sometimes the logic, like the
This is
Mercator
why it's
projection and
dangerous to let niggas have money. Because white people be having
Africa being
money and just be doing
small, like
anything.
maybe. But with like the birds aren't real, like okay, so
so the
it makes
bird,
you think
yeah,
That's
birds are
why it's
drones.
dangerous. Because when people have, I feel I had this theory that when white people have an abundance of money, they don't know what to do with. They just be doing shit, like buying billboards that say birds aren't real and starting conspiracy theories because
well,
they don't have nothing. They don't know what to
technically,
do.
if you really think about it, the birds was programmed as AI, and the
Oh my
AI start to
god.
reproduce itself, and when it reproduces itself, the AI lays an egg that break another AI, and then that egg break out, and then that bird AI go to get some worms, which kind of ain't real either, and they get the worms, and they fly the worms back up to the feed the baby AI, and then you see what I'm saying? Like it's all an illusion, bro. Shit.
I mean, what's
It's all
funny
a
to me
thing.
though, because I'm trying to like my point I'm trying to make with this without the power analysis is this also just hides actual programming and conspiracy by the US government. So like how many
That's
birds are in your house versus your phones and smart TVs? Like let's think about it. So if we're talking about the thing that everybody has that's everywhere and sees everything, that is a surveillance device, it's your phone. But silly shit like this makes you think it's birds, and there are people who do believe this. And then as you're saying, Amber, irresponsible white people put it here. This whole background
So
is funny to me.
irresponsible.
They're
With just
irresponsible.
like
He
with
says,
nothing to
I
do.
made a satirical movement a few months ago, and people on Instagram seem to like it a lot. So that irresponsibility, like, oh, I have no idea why misinformation would spread online. Like, come on, bro.
Yes.
And then then it goes on. Class dispute says that he actually took that from a staffer. Funny. So
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even make the viral campaign. So some staffer out there is trying to get a marketing
That's what I
job.
be saying about white folks. What happened to having normal white hobbies like doing drugs, going to raves, you know, cheating on your
This
wife with somebody with their sister, like normal white people shit that they used to do.
killing your
Go
whole
back to
family.
doing that.
But you
yeah,
know what
man.
though? Y'all, I know y'all talked about YNs earlier, but I know both of y'all are in organizing spaces, but I know y'all be into some regular hood nigga spaces who, but y'all ever be in the spaces where one of your peoples be talking about all these conspiracies and you be like, nigga, wait till you know that you even learn that there's conspiracies and there's conspiracy theories. And when I start telling your ass about the actual conspiracies that are proven, your ass, it's over for you. Because if you're really thinking this spy balloon and birds and AI birds and shit, my nigga, when we really get into some shit.
But no, that each of
John
my
really got a
experience
bird.
with
Hold on. John said white people keep their birds in cages. I take Sunshine outside. She can fly. I know that's right. You better take the bird outside.
Go ahead, Lori. What you saying?
He
no,
has a
I
macaw.
mean, oh, you already know the bird he has? Has
Yeah,
John
he put
mentioned
it in
that
the
before?
chat. I've been reading.
Oh,
That's why he said that there's no way that birds aren't real. He raised his macaw from a baby. I said,
yes,
oh.
and they do shit everywhere. Although that article says their shit is a way that they put nanobot surveillance in your shit. I don't know, man. Again, the
But
conspiracies
they
don't make
put
sense.
it on my windshield and I'm wiping it away. Where is it going?
And now it's exactly. It's the nanobots in your windshield wipers forever, and they can spy on you. I mean, usually my whole thing is they don't like the power analysis. Usually, has been my experience with conspiracy theorists is that to do what you said, it takes a more nuanced take. Like they own the puppet factory, but no, it's not the Jews or the lizard people or the Illuminati who own the puppet factory. Let's analyze who this person is. And the big thing I'll usually say to my people is I actually went to school with these people. So you can't tell me that it's some sort of conspiracy theory and all of that. I done seen people spend $5K on a bed for their cat, bro. So when I'm telling you, like there's a level, I'm talking to my family who's not been around like this level of degeneracy and wealth. It's always like, okay, well, this always just conveniently works for the easiest conspiracy theory for you. The man in a dress, it's always the transphobic ones appear too. Like I rarely find somebody who's just like focused on power and the federal government. It's always like, and also they're putting men in dresses. Like it's always some other punching down. It's never like laser focused on the powers that be. So
yeah, I was luckily during that weather balloon incident. I was luckily not in the country, but some of my homeboys were like, "Yeah, man, the Chinese." I was like, "Man, like," and then they go into the chicken wing spot on the corner. I was like, if they wanted to really spy on you, my nigga, they already been spying on you.
You already are spying.
And like, who you want spying? Let's not even.
You want a four piece chicken wing or not? What'd you say?
I was sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was saying that's just my theory around white people and consumption. I just feel like, I think especially now that I'm older and I really pay a lot more attention to like how much people consume things. Like they just be buying shit. And I just be like, why do you need those things? And this is why we don't need niggas having all this wealth. When you a billionaire and a millionaire, you're just wasting money on random shit because you don't know what to spend it on. Give that shit to poor people. But anyways, I notice how much they just buy random stuff or fall for conspiracy theories because they're stupid. But also they're just, they're just consuming things. And it's honestly really unhealthy, but also ridiculous. Like, why do you need these things? Why are you buying a $25 Airwan smoothie? Like, what's the point? I heard it do taste good, but what's the point? Kev on stage did buy that joint. He said it tasted good, but he said I would never buy it again, but he did say it tastes good.
Aha! Aha!
But this is why I be saying niggas get money and don't know how to act.
No, it ain't us. Don't blame it on us. Nah.
People who are not used to having money and get money.
That's still blaming us. That's still blame. I ain't like that part.
It's dangerous.
I ain't like that part.
I originally thought we were talking about billionaires because I was just gonna say
nobody know how to use the money. The white people.
But Amber's talking about like the degenerate wealthy people, right? That's what, because I was just at Art Basel. And I keep I've been mentioning this the whole time. I'm gonna find the video. There's a video of the Google mega yacht. Did I mention this last week? There's the Google mega yacht, and it pulls in next to the smaller WhatsApp CEO's mega yacht. And then there's a helicopter that comes and lands on the WhatsApp CEO's mega yacht. And I'm just like, this is the kind of ridiculous bullshit billionaires do, to come into Miami where you're gonna get off that mega yacht and sit in traffic for an hour to go a mile to go buy art that's got nothing to do with the city or any of the things you think it does. It's a crazy thing. But the whole mega yacht thing, in Circle, we were talking about like how much wealth it takes to just maintain it, like how that becomes a thing. And I think about that in terms of business all the time, like lawnmowers, people who do car washing, right? Like they have to say, okay, there's this many houses on the block, there's this many lots I can work, boom, boom, boom. But with a yacht, that on its own is the job. So they pay people, somebody who knew the yacht, I think, talked about, they pay people to scuba dive and go under the yachts and clean off barnacles and things like that. You have to pay a scuba team to be the janitor for your yacht.
Mind you, nobody is seeing the bottom of that yacht. I just want to say that. No one sees the bottom of the yacht. And they pay staff to staff the yacht. So they're like, on any random Tuesday or Wednesday, I want to go by my yacht and just, get on it and go around in a circle. The staff is already there and got food prepared for me. Like, they are just wasting money.
Yeah.
Throw that yacht in a circle. Throw that yacht in a circle. I'm sorry.
Exactly
I think about like what would repurposing that, like what would repurposing that even mean? Like what would that look like? Because I think of things like if we got the luxury housing, give it townhouse people, like that's simple. But what does reparations look like for these like ridiculous mega yachts?
And destroy them fucking yachts or sell them hoes and donate.
Yeah, like I don't even see how they help.
They're so unhealthy.
Right. Yeah. Maybe there's solar powered mega yachts.
Millionaires and billionaires emit the most GHG emissions. I don't care how much money I got. There's nothing that will make me take a private plane, be on a yacht. I'm not buying it. I'm not doing none of that shit. It's so horrible for the environment.
Yeah.
But these niggas ain't got no morals. And on that note, because I do have morals,
hey, we got a lover in the chat. Mods, get them. We got to
planning for my job with my.
Oh, you have to leave us?
Yeah.
This morning?
You mean to tell me shit was on
I just want to say I actually did not know the planning was supposed to be from 9 to 5, and I realized because I'm in Central Time. It's at 8 a.m. on my calendar.
Oh.
And I just noticed that. I did try texting her to see if we could move it back an hour because it's not
All
9 where
right.
I live.
We'll
It's not 9.
we'll slap the map. We got my favorite. All right, like I said, I'm from the South, so this stuff, I love this stuff. I know some people, some of my Northerners are more sensitive, but we got a troll in the chat. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Maz, get him up out of here.
I've been blocking people. It's like the third person.
We monkeys on screen, having a good time, just aping around this morning.
This is so crazy.
Oh man! Thank you, Maz.
Wait, somebody said that? I missed it.
Yeah. So it was a troll.
It's on the mobile thing. So like the other thing is that, like, you know, because they had this split mobile and regular thing, the mobile thing shows differently. So we don't even see them. And I only see them in the chat occasionally.
Oh man, it's all good. Anime nerds, so we get this freezes in the chat. That's a great joke.
You know what I mean.
It's all good. Amber, we will see you soon. Please join us from the chat as well.
Oh, she calling me, y'all. Never mind. I gotta go for real.
Yeah. You're in trouble. Look at you. Peace.
Love you. Peace.
Love you. Please. Want to slap the map, Geechee? We can start that news. All right.
Welcome back.
Morning. Welcome back. How you doing, Geechee? You ready for some news?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to get into some stuff. I breezed through it, so some of the stuff gonna be new. I know y'all got some stuff popping on there in Miami.
Yeah.
Too, so yeah, let's go.
And first, we just got some house rules. I love Chitty Matcha. She can do no wrong, but listen. Yeah, I will kick you out too. Don't. You will get a 24-hour. Florida isn't really the South, even though it's geographically located here. Don't you ever say that. If you don't know Florida history, I'm actually stop. We're not doing this. See. This is what I mean. We will have a whole debate, and I don't need that this morning.
Well, I think that's actually fair for the argument, not what she's saying, but the argument because you know how you always talk about we make sure we have shared language. Does the South mean geographical when people say the South? Is it like cultural?
Culturally, we're the South too.
That's what I'm saying. And then why is what constitute as Southern the South? Because like Bumpy Johnson was all up in New York, still doing some Southern shit, and that the way he moved became something Northern, and now they call his. So I'm trying to figure out like maybe that's
we don't know how the diaspora work. Everyone came from Mississippi and went up to Chicago and Detroit, and so yes, there's Southern practices everywhere. I just want to say that historically, Florida is also very much like the South. In fact, if you go back a century, you will see Florida is very much the South. Our migration wave happens in the mid 20th century, and now in the 1970s, where most of the Miami population is Caribbean. But geographically, culturally, historically, we are the South. One Night in Miami, that movie they made, no question, it was shot in Overtown. That is Black Miami, the South. Love y'all.
Well, maybe it is the North of South America, and that's why all the losers of South America come there.
It's also that. I'm not saying that we don't have a lot of things, and sure, a lot of people would say that. A lot of people are wrong. The Florida is no question the South. I still have to talk to the RNA. I need to talk to Tandy. I don't know how I get my hearing, but that black belt map, the fact that it doesn't have Florida on it, I'm just every time I'm like, what are we doing? Well, we have Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. Where's Florida? And if you're going to give Louisiana.
Florida was too compromised, though. You can't organize Florida like that with all them people there, man. You getting street food.
Listen, I'll let people argue about Miami because they don't know the history. I'll let people argue about South Florida. But if you go to Jacksonville, you cannot tell me Duval is not South. You cannot tell me that Gainesville, Tallahassee ain't the South. Even in terms of the geography, they look like Georgia. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's Magella. That's the Gullah corridor up there, North Florida to the
one day
east.
we'll get the Avengers to assemble, and I'll have my whole PE on why Florida is no question the South. And when you get here, everybody who doesn't think Florida is the South, it's the first thing they come to Miami, Geechee. You already know the first thing come to Miami. Man, it's so racist here. What's going on? Why they talking to me like this? Why they kicking me out? Why is there a sundown town in Miami Beach? The South. You just
Papi, Juno belong here, Papi. Juno,
yeah, bro. They trained them up. They already trained up the new age.
Belong here. Go somewhere else.
So, okay. Well, I guess we could start with, since we just talked about a little bit of Miami politics again. This place that's not the South. It sure smell like the South, walk like the South, talk like the South. And then big things like this happen, which remind me it's the South. But and this isn't big in terms of something we care about progressively, but a Democrat did win their race in Miami City, not county, city of Miami. The county has a Democratic mayor right now, who's very anti-Venezuela and pro-Israel. But this person, Eileen Higgins, is a county commissioner, largely seen as progressive for Miami, I should say. And she just won the runoff for mayor-elect. I think last week I was talking about the Suarez family, that corrupt dynasty. They weren't able to win it this time. So Eileen is going to be taking over. It's very interesting because of what's going to be happening with the crackdown by ICE. The Haitian population, after the earthquake in 2010, was given temporary protective status, TPS, and that is being withdrawn by the Trump administration. So come January and February in Miami, it's open season for the Haitian people, even more than it already was. So just something to keep in mind. And that is why people didn't want Emilio Gonzalez to win, who is backed by Trump, because he's, fully in support of these things. A lot of the Latinos in Miami are dealing with the locking up their own phenomenon right now, where they're throwing their own people in jail to prove they're one of the good ones and that they're going to survive and live the American dream. And so that's not okay. But as far as what Eileen will do to prevent ICE detention, that remains to be seen. So
oh, my bad. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
City went blue. That's it.
Well, I'm now curious now. What's it been like? Well, what's it going to be like for y'all? Okay, so given the Mamdani and given the different people running, and even here, like the DSA and all these other people, and then going back to what we were talking about, how people like celebrate Miami for being anti-left policies, home of the losers of the revolutionary, anti-socialism. But now Republican Party and other people gonna be like, oh, we gotta hold the line because this Democrat Eileen is, the socialist thing. Is that already starting? And then what is it like for y'all to be like, is there again, this goes back to me and your conversation all the time around like, and even Amber's like, do people know the policies that actually help us, impact us? And then this is how we highlight, like, maybe she got some policies that we could advocate for, guaranteed basic income, something like that. But this woman is definitely, as you said, anti-socialism too. So yeah, what has that been like so far with the maybe Red Scare or conflating communism and socialism with this Democratic elected mayor now?
Yeah, you laid it out. Honestly, like that's pretty accurate that people will red bait. I think the Democratic Party is going to try and spin it their way for their win. I think the Republican Party is going to try and spin it their way for their win. And comparing Eileen and Mamdani as a candidate is just bizarre, right? But that is what's going to be done. Even though they're very different, the landscapes are very different. I would say that the anti-communist baseline here is so high that, like, I don't think Eileen even entertains words like socialism. Like, it's just instantly Castro, Cuba, Venezuela dictatorship. So there's no thought. It's a thought terminating thing to say socialism down here. So again, to like lump her in with Mamdani, who's very clearly playing around with the socialist label to attract people, would be a mistake in my mind. But again, as you said, the Democrats are going to brand it their way. And then in Miami, if you do anything that's corrupt, you're a socialist. So everything, any sort of basic program, you care about the buses running on time, you're a socialist. You care about people not getting kicked out their house, you're a socialist. You care about the fact that they're bulldozing encampments and there's not enough spaces in the shelters, you're a socialist, right? So I think that's the main thing. As far as policies, we do have B&B Miami, at least some things that we want to ask for. I would say a big thing that everyone's focused on is land. Securing access to land in Miami, the city of Miami particularly, is a challenge. And obviously, real estate developers, capital is coming to take all of that land. So we have a lot of things with corrupt commissioners. Eileen was a commissioner before who was not corrupt, as far as I know. But there are others who just give away land, like land grabs and things like that. So if they know somebody who's opening up a charter school, they might play with their city commissioner capabilities to get that person in on the deal earlier. So I think one thing people are expecting for is her to do better around land and then affordability. I think it's the same thing as Mamdani would say. I mean, Miami and New York are neck and neck for the most unaffordable cities. But I think what's interesting in Miami is that the pay is absolutely awful. I always remind people it is the South. So I know New York is bad, but in Miami, they do not pay people. So Eileen's affordability solution is going to look a lot different than what Mamdani can pull off. I'm sorry, you had something high up? Oh,
no,
yes.
Yeah, this is her platform. Yeah. Well, her thing is like, this is always this is a buzzword, affordable housing, and then investing millions to strengthen hundreds of small businesses. But she can argue that she's doing public transportation, right? Maybe creating green space. These are all catchwords that everybody say until you have to look at the policies and talk to the people around it. But yeah, this is
I would give Democrat blueprint. And I'll just, I can't vote in Miami because the city of Miami, again, not countywide, and I'm not a resident of the city of Miami. But I will say my vote for candidate was going to be Ken Russell. And he, again, is not a socialist by any means. I just think he has more of an activist perspective on things. And he's very big into environmental preservation, which if I'm thinking about Florida policies, FPNL is about to raise rates in Florida. I think it's one of the highest raises of utility rates in U.S. history. And they have a monopoly on power and light in Florida, right? So how do you fight that? You would definitely need a candidate who at the very least is going to fight them on corruption, but also is going to ask them these questions and not give them everything they want. That's going to take a coalition. That's going to take a lot of things. But I will say this was a video I appreciated back when Ken was running, because, they change their tone sometimes after they lose to endorse people. He didn't too much, but this is what he said originally, which was him versus Eileen on the differences between the two candidates. So I'll just highlight these real quick.
Eileen.
Built by the state and federal government on county property. County Commissioner Eileen Higgins did absolutely nothing. I went immediately and stood together with the Miccosukee tribe in protest against Alligator Alcatraz for both environmental and humanitarian reasons. Eileen Higgins has accepted $20,000 from FPL. I've accepted $0. Eileen Higgins wants to build the country's largest garbage incinerator to burn your garbage, a $2 billion contract for FPL. I will not allow Miami's garbage to go to an incinerator as it produces massive amounts of CO2 for our climate. Eileen Higgins removed the environmental permitting ability from the environmental resources management in the county. I actually wrote all of the environmental protections that the city of Miami holds today. Eileen Higgins voted to demolish the Coconut Grove Playhouse, which is a pile of rubble but for the facade. I voted to protect the Playhouse, historically preserve it, and bring it back to life. Eileen Higgins voted to give a lease to the Miami Dolphin Company for the seaquarium, which has resulted in the death of hundreds of animals, including our Lolita Tokite. When Jungle Island came up for lease, I voted to make sure that they found a sanctuary for every large mammal, including all the orangutan families, which now live in sanctuaries instead of for public display. There are so many differences between us. I could go on and on and on. But
so, You can clearly see this person's environmentalist focus, which I appreciate. But we did say the biggest problem is affordable housing right now, right? And that's what everyone's complaining about. And as far as the strategy for dealing with that, it's something that takes a big movement. And so at least him having an activist orientation, the alligator Alcatraz thing was the most selling point for me. Because as he pointed out, Eileen was a county commissioner when this happened. So there are ways to challenge the legality of it all, which I always come back to. Again, we know how our people are going to be in certain positions of power. Oh, I can't do this, or I have to play the game. But my biggest thing is like, okay, I'll play the game on your terms. When something illegal happens, you have to act about the illegal things. I don't care, I'm playing on your laws. Let's do it. So those are the things that stand out in my mind. But I definitely think there are some local concessions that we're going to be looking for from this person. And then obviously she's going to want us to show up for things. And if those things benefit us, we'll show up, no question. So better than Emilio Gonzalez, better than another Trump stooge when we already have a Republican state government at every level. They own the legislative, the executive with DeSantis, and then judges in these places are also going red.
As small as this is, this made me think about, like, again, how intimately or the lack thereof, or how much clarity we have around like larger policies that maybe impact us, and then maybe even local to community. So on my street, there's a one-way on my street, and on the right-hand side where my house is at, we all park on that side of the street, right? Especially down here, because it makes sense the way the driveway, the parking lots, whatever. And one day there's this person, one of the neighbors, they had like this big ass thing in it, some kind of carrier or wagon or whatever, that kind of took some of that little road out, and people just had to navigate around it. And I don't know, I heard somebody might have called city or whatever, and then the other morning I wake up because my next door neighbor banging on my door, and like they're giving all of us tickets, and the police is like, or whoever the person is, they're like, y'all can't park on there, y'all have to park on the other side. And we were like who made that decision? And he's like, I don't know, like y'all have to get, you have to talk to the P&A. And I'm on the P&A, so, and we've never had a conversation around whatever, and then who gets to decide. And then my next door neighbor said, why you just knock on the doors? He said, because it's dangerous. I said, what the fuck are you talking? I said, get the fuck out of here. Like, I tell him, get the fuck out of here. Like, well, you can't tell me it's not dangerous. I've been the police for so many years. My nigga, you saying it's dangerous to knock on somebody's door and ask, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you police?
Right.
That's crazy.
But then it's like the idea of this is a I guess public road. I don't know, but like niggas in the community don't get to be like, yo, and no, the police was a black dude. This is Atlanta, so you ain't gonna probably fake. But by the community member asking, I've been there for going on 2 years, and I parked on the same side of the whole time. But for the community, again, not to even know, or not even get to decide what side of the fucking road they want to park on. Something as little as that to all the way to all the big things, like of how we're just floating in this motherfucker, don't know what's going on, and don't know how decisions are made and why. And really, they can be like right or left, and then be like, oh, I choose left, but y'all go right, and then I just give all y'all tickets, and now and then the shit is just like that level of thing. But then the larger things that most people just really don't consider, like where the trash go whenever they pick up your trash and burn the right. Like how much it costs to take your trash out. Like, so yeah, I don't know.
No, it's all the local issues that then pile up. Like, it wasn't this one thing he said. It was like over and over. I'm like, I see. This person clearly has an environmental focus on his end, and a preservation focus, which is important in Miami if you want that. Now, the question again is like, then people get into the how can you win and what are the numbers and all of those things. And I think that's its own bag. A lot of people are talking about the voter turnout in Miami being super low. Of course, that's the case in a lot of places. But there's other things people have pointed out in Miami. We have a large population of people who are immigrants or who cannot vote. That's something that comes into play more than other cities. There's a lot of things to consider, people under 20 and whatnot. But generally, though, I hear that, but the critique is true. Like, if people aren't aware of the local policies that affect them, if people are saying it's too dangerous to go ask people what's going on in their own neighborhood, like, yeah, man, this is. It's also like when the officer came and was talking about keeping the park safe, Hadley Park, and they were like, "Yo, there's just a bunch of unhoused people. What are you gonna do?" And the dude's only solution was like, "We gonna throw them in jail. What do you mean? What are we gonna do?" It's like,
give
sir,
them some secure housing in jail.
like, how are we gonna solve this problem? So I get that, and that's my thing about the Miami mayoral race in general. And even Zoran understands this to his credit, where he talks about a transition team and signing people up to volunteer so that they can be active in his network and things like that. I don't think there's a massive movement behind Eileen in that way. It just tends to be the alignment of forces away from the current corrupt leadership. And that becomes a thing in Miami as well. Is like there's the open corruption of capitalism just running through pretty much everywhere, that even the good quote unquote politicians get swallowed up in, and then they get called corrupt. Or you have the open corruption of like the people who are doing that shady shit. Like, I'm going to point out Francis Suarez, the person who's outgoing mayor, and he stole $100-some thousand, I believe, before he left office. And so this is on the record. And let's see, here it is. $170,000 in monthly payments. I have the receipts, y'all. You know me. So, and then we can maybe jump to another story since we've been on Miami for a minute. Miami Herald, not Sun Sentinel, reports exclusive. Developer paid Miami's mayor $170K to push his project, company record states. So this was updated in February 2024, but the story was out, I think, as early as 2021. I still have the actual documents that were released.
Monthly payments, like to him or for his budget for the city, like his personal.
He had his little shell game, but they a developer quietly paid Miami mayor at least $170,000 over the past 2 years to help cut through red tape and secure critical permits for his stalled real estate project in Coconut Grove, a city. Go
back up. I'm sorry, I thought it said monthly.
He got $170,000 total. And he did it in monthly payments. I think $10,000 over 17 months.
Received at least 100 in monthly. Okay. Oh, I thought it. Oh,
yeah.
I thought it said, "Gan, what the fuck you doing with 170,000 a month?" Okay.
Well, here's the thing. That brother's tied into Saudi Arabia. So, like, we gotta even talk. He worked at a law firm. He moved a law firm that he worked at, like, right down the street from the mayor's office, and then he was courting Saudi Arabia to come to Miami and do all these things, and he has all sorts of ties to them. So, it's just open corruption. But the players know how to play the game. So again, this is the same person who's interviewing the Nobel Peace Prize winner about how much he's going to look forward to her overthrowing Maduro and going to went to visit. Him and his wife are going to go visit this white lady in the presidential palace. So he's all sorts of corrupt, but the real estate developers will still interview him. You don't lose access to the halls of power when you do this kind of stuff here, unfortunately. So he just the real estate developers are having him on their podcasts. You saw Jeff Bezos talk to him the other day, and people were talking about Jeff Bezos scolded him or whatever, which was just funny to see. So a lot of chaos. I highly recommend y'all check out this article. Again, links and sources in the show description. But we're talking about how Miami's mayor took $170,000. Joe Carollo, another commissioner, also took a lot of money to give away land and these sort of backroom deals. I think his was in the tone of like millions of dollars. So chaotic Miami politics. We will see what happens in this next era.
That's what Rick Ross was talking about, and push it to the limit. Push it to the limit. He was talking about
Rick Ross is trying to. He's trying to see who's gonna help him with his wing stops down here. That's what that brother is on.
Push it to the limit.
He'll show up if they have a community event or something. Want to give him an award? It's real simple. Listen, we talked about this last week.
You should see his house out here, bro.
He got a
got
house
this-
where y'all at? This guy,
Bro,
man. Does he have a
I
wing
think
stop out there with y'all?
I don't know, but I'm talking about his house looked like the White House, like it's like big ass in Clayton County, and it got R.R. Rick Ross, and it's right next to, it's right across the street from Kroger's or something like that, a Publix, something like that.
Man. No, man.
Yeah, it's the Vandal Holyfield old house. You ever seen the Holyfield house in Atlanta?
Nah, go ahead, pull that up for me, bro. I gotta see that.
All right, let me pull it up.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, that Holyfield's old house is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, no, the black bourgeoisie go to Georgia to live like, that's where you can get your little mansion. If you got a little retirement, a little Easter, was a nest egg, you could go to Atlanta and get you a big house, a lot of land.
Yeah, it's right across the street from a motherfucking Publix, I think. Something over there. How we do this now? Ooh. All right, there we go. So yeah, when you and it's in Fayetteville. In fact, Layla Hathaway is coming to Fayetteville, the Trilliff. And I'm joking. I'm about to go see Layla.
God.
I love me some Layla.
This is crazy. It's like the Papa John mansion. When you see Papa John lives in a castle, damn near. This shit is.
I'm trying to see like the street, the gate, like
man.
You can see like I don't got. It's not a street view, but you can see like a gate outside and yeah, it's like right. But I don't guess they.
This is what we talked about with the yachts earlier. So I don't know. Like I'm sure you grew up doing chores. I grew up cleaning. Like my family's policy tended to be like you got to be able to clean the house you live in. And I know we didn't like explicitly say that and we were going to move to these mansions or whatever, but I'm just like I think about that all the time. Like even when I started off in like a single residence home and then we moved to a bigger house, no matter where it was, like we had to clean that shit. You had to know how to clean every element. You had to know how to do the patio. You had to know how to put up shutters in case of a hurricane, vacuum wash, all that shshit. Even in the next house when it was bigger, we still did that. It was a lot more work. But I think about these castles and I'm just like, how do your kids even clean up in this kind of place? Do they even know how to do dishes?
He's providing jobs, Laurie. He's providing jobs. So he has
you're right. You're
200 staff members who
who
clean the house and
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, they're not black. The staff is probably
Miami. They come from Miami.
Immigrant labor. Yeah, I was just gonna say because they're cheaper. You never ask why. So, geez, man. Yeah, I just think about that, and that just fucks with the little kid psychology. Because you just grow up living like a plantation owner, like legit, with a long driveway and a chauffeur. It's crazy. Oh, that's great. My Loric uncle's a retired surgeon. My aunt, his wife, was into real estate, designed their house. He said as long as she cleaned it, she could have whatever she wanted. She cleans it daily. Yeah, and I think that's when we talk about capitalist alienation and how we are removed from our labor and what we produce in the world. I think that's a big part of it. Like you don't have to take care of the things that you use on a daily basis. Immediately starts removing you from it. The fact that like I knew that I had to clean the back patio made playing football back there so much more fun, right? Because I'm like, oh shit, it's clean. Ooh, I did all that, got it all out the way, invite the neighborhood over, let's play ball. And yeah, I think you lose that once the staff cleans it. And then and even like these players, they go to AAU or something. So the staff is driving you to your travel basketball practice or something like that. Even that is not the same experience in my mind. So, all right, what we got up next? Oh, this is going to be an interesting one.
Only because you said something about Duval. I got to show y'all this video, little Duval, at his estate. He's at his estates with Shaq and them. And I'm gonna see if y'all catch it, and I'll have to tell y'all. Oops, shoot, hopefully the video didn't say nothing fast, and then I can't do this one. But pretty much, there's something that's happening, and I'm gonna see if y'all can get it. But maybe they're gonna show it beforehand.
What you showing? You're muted. I can't. Oh, well, you're not muted, but I can't hear you.
Well, actually. I don't know the original video. Maybe they're gonna already tell you the video in the buried lead, but never mind. I don't know.
And cooked for everybody. Duval also gave him a tour around the property, showing him just how big and incredible the camp is. Let's check it out.
Everything. I got lobsters and everything.
No fucking way.
Hold up.
Yeah, lobster.
Hold up.
Leg?
Hold up.
Let me see. Oh shit, I found one here.
Here's the one.
Hell yeah.
Here's the one right
Hey, this is jump. Hey, be careful to jump. Look, you got lobster.
Who ain't got
For
lobsters?
real.
Who ain't got lobsters at Camp Duval?
Hey.
Who ain't got here? If it's alive.
Hey,
It's still. Come on.
another one here.
Look at it. You found another one?
Hell yeah, this is a big ass one.
Quit playing. Let's
Damn.
go play on the grill.
Hold on. Hey, make sure they don't run, man. Hey, they run away, bro. That's crazy.
You want another one?
Let me see, man. I go down here, find out.
You want another one?
I don't know you have that big ass lobster. Oh shit, look like I have another one here.
You see another one?
Hell yeah, right here. Oh shit. He bigger than lobster farm, bro.
I told you.
Damn, I don't know you have that baller lake like this.
Yeah, man. I'm just chilling, man.
Holy
man. Quit
crap.
playing with it. Quit playing with us, man. This how we do it at Camp Duval, man.
Oh,
Get
damn,
your
I saw.
lobster, catch
Look.
your lobster.
I saw one over, so I had to go down, bro.
Are you gonna go all the way here?
Hell yeah. That's a
Oh,
big
you
ass
wildin'
one.
now.
Yeah.
Hey, now if you get bit by a snake, I am not responsible.
Oh,
You heard that? You
This
heard
is
that?
on his land.
Big
All right.
shit.
This motherfucker.
Oh shit, I found one in here. Oh,
This motherfucker. You got
I meant
it.
to go
no. Yeah,
fast.
I got it. Oh shit. For real.
All right, that's enough. You can't get no more, Doc. God damn it.
See,
You took all the damn lobster.
I might find some, man.
That's enough, bro. Come on.
Look, I got some snake out here.
It is a snake out there. You get bit, it ain't on me. Come on. Hey, man, what is you doing? You gotta keep going.
So there's a couple things like that's the unfortunately most people, black people in America, only thing they know about Vietnam that Johnny Diamond come from Vietnam. They don't know who Ho Chi Minh is. That's the one contradiction. But the other contradiction is what I'm pretty sure y'all know the answer, but like what did you notice about the little interaction in the
He was watching somebody do all the work to grab the lobster.
well that too, but the lobsters are dead, bro. And
Yeah, they already
And
had
like-
was that a joke? They had the rubber bands
No.
on them. Huh?
yeah, but they was trying to convince people that Duval got lobsters at his thing, and they probably before the video threw them dead lobsters in and say he's fishing for lobster. That's why he said, "Hey man, watch out, man! Don't take all my lobsters." And they're dead, bro, and they're dead because y'all asked Stewart in to make. So you have to create this vision for everybody that you're so rich, like Rick Ross or whoever the fuck, that you got lobsters in your motherfucking pond, and that's why. Because Duval always tell y'all. Because this is what Duval be saying shit to Nod and them about, like, man, fuck that revolutionary shit. Y'all trying to be revolutionaries. And when y'all keep being revolutionaries, the government gonna come get y'all ass so y'all can come over here and live with me and I'm good. I'm isolated. Like, that's Duval's logic. And so he has to paint the fact that he's so isolated and rich that he got lobsters in the pond and shit. And so Johnny Damon and Shaq is there pulling out dead lobsters out the pond and somebody's filming it. And then that's why he said, "You ain't in Vietnam no more. You ain't in Vietnam no more. Poor ass Vietnam. You ain't there no more. Stop eating all my lobsters." So the shit, them niggas is
Oh, I get it. That's because I was missing. I was like, is anyone gonna fall for that? Like, I didn't even. I thought that was a skit. Like,
Them
I had
niggas
no
is
clue he's
crazy.
actually trying to convince. Yeah, again, this is how I fail sometimes. I'm just like, wait, people are. He wasn't joking. This is a serious. Oh man. Okay. Oh god. Yeah, you gotta
Right.
keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That had to be part meme. There's no way. Yeah, I mean that looked like it was also like this is fresh water though. That's not I was lost, but it does look like good food. I'm sure.
They look the dictator.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't. If you go back, I thought there were rubber bands. That's why I thought it was a meme because I'm like, wait, are there still rubber bands on the claws? Like,
Bro,
but
listen,
yeah,
you niggas probably got them lobsters from Red Lobster. They probably bought it from Red Lobster, dropped it in the little whack ass lake, and then say he got lobsters in his pond.
And none of them look dressed to fish. That was the other thing I was gonna say. Yes, what I noticed, I'm like, none of them look like they got a boot on. They ain't got nothing, no kind of gloves, no buckets.
He's catching lobsters. So the lobsters in this little river or lake right next to. You ain't got to go out there to get the lobster. They ain't right next to the grass and the trees, and that's where lobsters just be chilling at. They just be chilling right there, like lobsters. Now I don't know if y'all ever went and go crabbing or actually getting actual lobsters, but I don't remember them niggas being like right there by the bank.
They are. They are. I couldn't tell this was a skit, but that's crazy. But I don't put it past them.
Yeah, them niggas is wild, bro.
They are wild. I would not put that past them.
They should. You're right. They should have thrown some biscuits in there too and said, "Look, we got fresh biscuits, not the late." Like,
let me get those cheddar biscuits, those cheddar butter biscuits, man. Everybody knows Red Lobster recipe. Okay, wait. What we got? We got we got breaking news, y'all. We got very, very breaking news on this next story on our thing. Did y'all know far right commentator Nick Fuentes is a virgin? What? No way. Oh man. So that's the first point. So who is Nick Fuentes? We have to always ask ourselves that. I'm glad this article just names it white supremacist Nick Fuentes. I said far right commentator, but white supremacist is probably, those are synonyms. This is old news. It says December 2025. Again, it's old news because every far right commentator.
And what's wrong with being a virgin? I'm confused. Shout out to.
What is wrong with being a virgin? Let's ask. Let's see. Does he? I don't know where. I don't have all the. Where is the point? He goes on. You can just see. Hold on. First of all, y'all, let's just look at these timestamps. So, Nick Fuentes on how his background shaped him. Nick Fuentes on if his father's views made him racist. Nick Fuentes doubles down on his rants again about Jews, women, and blacks. These are some excellent thumbnails we're going through. Everybody except white people are racist. We're making progress, y'all. This is how we get to the fact that this person's a virgin. I just want all the things that happened before we got there. So Jews, blacks, and women. He goes on that rant again. Everyone with white people are racist. This is about a 20-minute segment. Wow. Piers Morgan questions Nick Fuentes on black versus white crime statistics. So we're back here. All the greatest hits. Nick Fuentes on anti-Semitism. Spoiler. It's only anti-Semitic if it's against Israel, not when he actually hates Jews. Piers Morgan challenges Nick Fuentes on denying Holocaust statistics. Piers Morgan challenges Nick Fuentes on Hitler comments. Nick Fuentes discusses his comments about worldwide Jewry. Nick Fuentes slamming women. You're fat and talk too much. And then finally, at an hour and 25 minutes in, y'all, we get Piers Morgan ask Nick Fuentes if he's ever had sex. Let's finally get there.
Oh, you should see my DMs. It is quite the opposite. They're called the Groy bets, and I'm actually batting them away. Granted, not all of them are attractive. Some of them are attractive.
Are you actually? Look, just to clear up one of the many theories about you, I have no idea what the answer is, and you haven't got to answer. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay?
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should stay at home?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur, aren't you? For a young guy. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick Fuentes? All women. I am. All women are annoying. All women grow old. They all get fat. Says the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Says the guy who's never got laid.
Wow. That's the thing, though. You boomers, it's always
you're an expert in women,
free love.
Given you've never got laid?
Yeah, we are going back to the Stone Age. You're absolutely right. This, you're talking about empathy, and your kids are empathetic, and they would never laugh at a joke about the Holocaust, and you're a misogynist. You're a simp yourself. You're totally henpecked. That's the problem. So we are going back to the way
Let me play another clip of yours about women.
A lot of women want to be raped, and when I say raped, I mean like.
Whoa,
that sounds bad when I say.
Okay, y'all. Sorry.
Content we're done
on that. You just got to know how the right works. I did not preview that, so I didn't know that was coming. Who is this? Is the better question, Geechee? It's one of Trump's soldiers. Like that's why I studied these people. So just like we studied Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes is a little bit younger. He was tied to Kanye West. He meets with Donald Trump, so Trump likes him. So just somebody to know. And what's funny to me is, I know we go back and forth between the Black misleadership class and Black right wingers and things like that, and looking at these folks. But to me, I always see the source. Like, that's the difference. I think some of our folks struggle when they see Black people who sound like us, talk like us, who are saying this shit, and they're like, "Oh, but this when I see our brothers talk like this is who I'm seeing. This nerdy white virgin." Like, that's exactly, because that's who it sounds like to me. So this is Nick Fuentes, just like Charlie Kirk, just like Steven Crowder. They're all Ben Shapiro. They're all different generations of this right wing conservative machine. They hate women. They hate Jews. They hate Black. They're the Klan. But I think it's really helpful to look at the source material sometimes, so you can understand that when brothers say this stuff back or parrot this stuff, this is who they're taking from. These white boys, this dude, Nick Fuentes. So that's what he sounds like. They might change their language a little bit. They might throw in a little Black buying power. We know how that goes. But essentially, it all comes back to this. So this guy's got, open white supremacist views, just like Charlie Kirk and them. But just very popular. And again, I think most Black people would know him through his links to Kanye West. He is an American political commentator, far white nationalist, and then the biggest thing about this Eric Geechee is he's a streamer, right? So again, that's like the thing that makes them different. We had the YouTube channel kind of come up with Ben Shapiro in them. Before that, it was the Fox News generation with Bill O'Reilly, and this kind of new cohort. A lot of these streamers, they usually come up through these think tanks we talk about. So check it out. Fuentes' followers began to heckle Charlie Kirk and his organization, the TPUSA. So they have their inner ruling class conflicts that we should be aware of. They're not all on the same page, which is why, again, we saw Charlie Kirk got popped. And it was not by anybody on the left. So important to see that. I also point out how young these people are usually. Like Charlie Kirk was my age, essentially.
I think
this guy is, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I think that was leading That was leading to where I was going. And first, I want to also acknowledge, like, if any women, sisters, brothers, whoever is watching this and that thing was triggering, apologies, because I couldn't imagine watching the said thing and had been told or convinced of said thing that you wanted to be assaulted and then hear that on our platform. Again, we apologize for that, because I don't know who the fuck that person is. Actually, I've never saw him, and I didn't know. But and then I did, when I started looking up, I did see Ye or Kanye or whoever the fuck was connected to them, and I just think, again, it just is crazy as fuck. But and so how, like, Black folks too now, but white folks will join military and like do these things and be like a martyr to put their family in a better situation, right? So like you go over and do these things, and I wouldn't be surprised if people like a Charlie Kirk and this person would literally be creating this persona, right? And eventually get popped, but them dying is gonna like change their family life economically, politically, socially, whatever. Like, and like, so that same rush to like go defend your country with the gun is they're doing the same thing with the mic, and like they're making themselves a martyr, like a target. And and because again they're in control of the means of discourse, we'll be talking about it for years and years and years. And even before they get to the martyr space, remember Charlie Kirk was already going around campuses getting paid to speak. You know what I mean? So it's like, and making so, god damn. Like, I'm just thinking how fucked up we.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about, and again, let's talk about it.
Mute, I think. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm not muted. I don't know if
Still
hello.
Can't hear you.
It might be.
Hello. But yeah,
can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Something happened with the mic.
All right.
Maybe you got to check your settings. But yeah, wait till Lord come back. But I've never heard of them.
They can hear me and get you. It's just you.
I'm waiting for you. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Sorry, y'all, for the technical difficulties. I can hear both of you. What? Talk again, Lord. say something?
Hello.
Because Leah can't hear you, but Zinzi can.
I'll come out and come back, y'all. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you can hear it, I think. It's on my end? Uh-oh. Wait, can y'all hear me? Yeah, we can hear y'all fine. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm sorry. We can hear both of y'all.
I'm back. Can you hear me now, Geechee?
Well, maybe it's something I did.
Yeah, I think it's you. Maybe your headphones.
All right. Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it's mine. Damn it. Let me figure out something.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. We'll figure it out.
Need to come back in. It's Geechee, yeah.
Yeah, it's Geechee.
My bad.
What was the last thing we were talking about? I completely lost it. This whole conversation threw me. I was not expecting that. At the same time, you should always expect that from the right. Yeah, this is what happens for playing Nick Fuentes clip. Absolutely, this is our fault. We invited this calamity. My bad. ZZ Lion Dad had a really good comment that I wanted to highlight. Also, Chat All Star, ZZ Lion Dad. Coon Dance Owens is the #1 podcast now in Nicki's top 10. Kanye West flunkies are winning. Yeah, I mean, that's the other point about this. Joe Budden being a super popular Black podcast. I mean, it is. It's a Black podcast. So I don't want to do that. But Joe Budden, super popular. And then on the right, of course, they will pick a Black woman to say their right-wing nonsense, and it goes platinum every time. They love that record. So Candace Owens, Coon Dance Owens being #1 makes sense. Nick being top 10 is also just on brand. But important to look at the kind of stuff they're feeding people, especially youth. And to your point, Geechee, I think they just came, like, it's a pipeline. It's to the Puppet Factory. There's a sort of cosmic pity I have for them when I'm looking back and I'm like, yo, they would have built, like, if there weren't a Charlie Kirk, they would have found another white boy in a lab in Illinois, rural Illinois somewhere, and made him. And there's always a bunch of people clamoring to take his place. But these people start early, they get on the circuit, they get paid in these colleges, debating people, they get think tanks putting money behind them, and it's a job, it's a career path, you know? So it just becomes pretty obvious when you look at it from a political economy perspective. But Candace Owens is doing a similar thing to, I don't know if you remember Megyn Kelly. Do you remember that white woman on Fox?
Yeah.
And how she left because she got fired while also being sexually harassed and was okay with it while she was in power. And then she goes to NBC and people are acting like she can rebrand. Like this person wasn't a Klanswoman the entire time that she was reporting. And so I even saw this like brief shift on NBC where they tried to act like Megyn Kelly was now just like a generic kind of news reporter. And she was too right-wing for that even, and ended up having problems and falling out with them over those things. So I see a similar thing with, you know, Candace Owens, where she fell out of favor with some of the right people in power, had a little factional dispute, and now she's kind of rebranding, still acting like she talks to the Black community, but she doesn't. And then also pretending like she has critiques of the right, particularly around Israel, which we know is absolutely a joke on her end. But she'll act like very America first with her critique of Israel. It's all.
You ever saw like Turning Point's operating budget and all that other stuff?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Yep. They have more resources than us, and we'll never beat them that way. I think we beat them with things like this, with propaganda, with the truth, with this man going on international television and saying he's a virgin and that women should be assaulted. I think that's one of the ways we have to combat them. But yeah, I mean, she is the thing. Hey, Cherie, yeah, she gets big upped because she knows how to play the algorithm a little bit. So she'll say certain ADOS talking points to kind of play with that. Like I said, her critique of Israel is the kernel of truth, the half truth more dangerous than a full lie, that we're giving them money and we're not putting any sort of strings attached to that money. But then, of course, she doesn't take you to the genocide and all of those things. So it's all fun and games, more factional disputes. I see. Oh, yes, please pull that article up. People have been talking about Charlie Kirk's wife, and I just want to highlight that as well. The sociopathic behavior we see from these people Like, dog. Charlie Kirk's wife live streaming the funeral, having the GoPro cam on her as she hugged Charlie Kirk's body in the casket, bro. This is what I'm like. This level of sociopath is something I don't think the left can compete with. That. That's the other issue. We don't want to. Do you want to be like that? Do you want power at that cost where you go live stream?
But isn't that capitalism though? Like if everything is like commodified and like that's big bread for her. Like you know how many people even all of us gonna be tuning into that motherfucker. Niggas on the left gonna be like just watching it, but the stream's gonna go up and then the advertiser's gonna know like, yo, y'all can get like you can get a whole bunch of money just doing that. And why not be in control of that, as she says? So is it sociopath? Is it capitalism? Is capitalism sociopathic?
Right.
Relation?
And the answer is definitely yes. Right. Absolutely. And I think the all the dysfunction we see, you know, with these ruling class people makes it obvious. I think people were already joking that JD Vance is soft launching his divorce so that he could get with Erica Kirk, and I 100% believe that shit. That's of course. Why not?
Like watching TV and watching the stories and the soap operas, like the shit happening in real life. Then let's get it.
Yep. Yeah, of course it is. It makes sense to me. Yeah, so Erica Kirk is in her power moves right now, and yeah, she's beefing with Candace Owens. I think someone pointed out in the chat, like it becomes very hard, and I don't recommend following all of their drama and beefs and all of that. I can't even do it with the Black Men's Leadership class so much. Like even their network gets a lot of. It's just confusing, but we do it here. We look at our Boyce Watkins, our Killer Mikes, and we have to Khalees because they affect us. But then when I look out at this shit, I'm just always like, this shit is a mess, man.
Yeah, I think niggas is trying to attack and change the wrong religion.
Shout out Deculturation. I know we got our affiliates of Millennials Are Killing Capitalism. Deculturation does some solid work. Love your streams, bro. Candace Owens said Charlie Kirk visited her in a dream. What more evidence do you need? Yeah. God.
What?
Oh my God. Ooh, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. All right. So the person who hates women also does not have a healthy relationship with a woman. I do think that's a good little tool we could take from the Friday remix. Jared talks about that all the time. A lot of people talk about that, like taking advice about marriage from people who haven't had successful marriages. Like people giving you advice on race. I'm particular about this one though. People giving you advice about raising kids and they haven't had kids. I don't think it's the same. I don't think that's exactly the same. I think the marriage one is a little more accurate. Yeah. I feel like raising kids. No. Sometimes y'all be doing horrible shit that anybody who hasn't had kids can point out about the kids. Like, you should not be doing that with your kids. I don't need a kid to tell you that. Like, come on. Yeah. I agree. It's not the same. So
yeah, and plus you've been a kid. Like you've examined how parenting relationships should and shouldn't happen, and so you have been parenting yourself for quite some time, however old you are. So you do have parenting. So between interaction on the other side and parenting the inner child and all that other stuff, like that's drastically different.
But you're absolutely
again,
right.
White language of child, kid, mom, daughter. You're gonna struggle a little bit.
Oh man, yeah. Free our Asian sisters from white men, bro. They be going, they struggle the worst sometimes with it. Sudeep, listen, I feel bad for Vance's wife, Usha, but she herself was a conservative activist and tool. Yeah, we talked about all our terms. Sudeep, if y'all's people got a term for y'all's coons, let us know. I'm going to add it to the glossary in the chat. But that is a very old trope of white conservative men getting with colonized Asian women.
The moist, wet ones.
Yeah. That's in that show I love recommending, Succession, where the main guy's son has an Indian wife. He has half brown kids, and he works for a right-wing news network that is stoking violence against them. So there's a scene, I think, where one of his daughters gets like assaulted by one of these white supremacists who watches his father's company's programming, and he has to navigate through that. Like, yeah, damn, I'm empowering the people who hurt my children, but that is white people's tradition in the U.S. So just always interesting to point that out. But yes, I think who else has? You could just go down the list of having an Asian wife. They get black women less, and that's why Candace Owens is so popular. You know, when they can get a black woman to do it, it's like a big deal. So,
man, listen, I want to do my power ranking thing with you, man. Like I kept talking about it. I was talking about it on what our show used to call? Link. Damn, that's crazy. It's been so long. I'm about to forget. Earn your
UIL? Yeah. Earn your liberation.
But nah, man, like I would, one, obviously for like study and analysis and critique, like, again, we can always struggle around it. Why Walter Rodney get B, because you know how much we need to study and what he need to study, what he contribute. But then also it should be like for these folks too, like, you know, kind of like with Margaret did with the presidents, right? With that book, like what they actually did and who they actually are and what their actual lines are. Because a lot of times with entertainment, and so I was showing the young people this the other day with like a card trick. And I think I probably shared before, but like I spread out the card, you pick a card, they pick the card. I say, all of y'all look at the card, don't, tell me the card. And then they put the card back. And when they put it back on the deck, like I see the card, close the deck, shuffle, let them shuffle, do all these different tricks. And the whole time I got the card in my head, but they're so distracted with all the other things. And that's kind of how entertainment is, that like you don't really get to concretely talk about what somebody did. So it would be dope to even include those folks of like, not only just saying Candace Owens, but nigga, I can say why through ba 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 ba.
Yes,
you know
yes.
Oh yeah,
no, we got to do that. We will talk. You know, our team of people we have to assemble, because I always lay this at the feet of Booker T. Washington and all of those. We do have to show the parentage. I do think we have to show through the generations who birthed this person, and then again how they be happy. Because I think Booker T. Washington would be disgusted with some of these black conservatives. Like, let's be real here. I don't think he wants to claim them, even if he gave them birth, unfortunately. Sudeep gave us the term. Okay, shout out. I gotta save this. Our term is chamcha. It means butt kisser. It's a mix of Persian, but it means like a spoon or a tool. We also say gora, similar to calling a person whitey. Yes, again, there's a reason every person who's been colonized has this term for their trainers. I knew it existed, so appreciate that. No question. And then I think someone else was saying that this happens with black women too. Yeah, no question. It's a strategy with every population. I do think if you look historically at the ideology of white supremacy, though, there's an interesting marriage there with how they view and fetishize Asian people, related to what we talked about in previous weeks about IQ and things like that. They have to, because historically, certain Asian populations test well on their European constructed psychometric tests, like an IQ test or like the SAT or the ACT. And because Asians can score so well at that, it kind of ruins their white supremacist fantasy. So they have to come up with new narratives like Asians are more book smart, but they're really timid, or Asians are more book smart, but they lack leadership qualities. And so if you look at the lawsuit those Asian students and families did against Harvard, they were against the admissions interview thing, because they let admissions counselors grade you based on your qualities, and Asian students were typically getting told that they have fewer leadership qualities compared to like white students in these Ivy League applications. So they were just pointing out how racism was being employed against them in the application process, even though they were doing it to argue for access into the white space and they wanted seats at the table. They unintentionally exposed to racism. So that was a longer tangent about why white and Asian people have this link in terms of white supremacist ideology. I think the Nazis called the Japanese honorary Aryans, if you look into that history as well. So yeah, they just have to justify their racism, and they do it by saying Asians are smarter, but they are emasculated, and I'm very smart and white. That's their reasoning. It's not that complicated. Mm-hmm. Oh, boom. Yes, there it is. This is how they explain Japan. Absolutely. Yep. Honorary Aryans until we got to throw them in internment camps, and then they're dirty yellow people who are spying on you and want to get with your daughter. It's always both ways that they love to do that. So let's see. what did we? Nick Fuentes was a big one. Oh, there was a high school walkout. I wanted Amber to talk about this one. But we can maybe look at this story. I don't know if you saw this. Hundreds of high school students in Oregon and Minnesota walk out to protest ICE kidnapping operations. Have you seen the story at all?
I briefed it a little bit on the run sheet, but no, I haven't seen it.
So let's check it out. Students in Oregon and Minnesota walked out of class this week to protest ongoing immigrations and customs enforcement kidnapping operations in their communities across the country. Shout out. Previous weeks, we talked about how this needs to be done, how different sectors of society can act. Following the mass walkouts in North Carolina last month, this action this week reveals widespread revulsion and opposition to attacks on immigrants among large sections of youth. On Tuesday morning, hundreds of students at Burnsville High School, located 15 miles south of downtown Minneapolis, okay, that's important to know, walked out of class to protest ICE raids in their community. Video shows students carrying signs and chanting, "No more ICE, no more ICE." And then we can see the walkout was triggered by a raid on a multifamily home in Burnsville this past weekend. On December 6th, more than a dozen heavily armed ICE agents raided the home, shattering doors and breaking locks. In the course of the raid, immigration agents disappeared 4 people, 3 of whom left behind children.
So is this Washington County students, or it says
Oregon and Minnesota. So sorry, go ahead.
I guess this is the same, because I seen one that happened on the 8th, a video. I wonder if this is the same thing. Let me share this right quick.
Yeah, go for it.
A video. Is this one?
High school students in Washington County walked out of class today to protest immigration enforcement at Aloha High School. Dozens of students braved the rain, the signs, and even the infamous inflatable frog costumes out there somewhere. There we go. They say they're upset with the way people in the community have been taken.
There's like a lot of immigrants, Mexicans, not just Mexicans, but a lot of Hispanics or like from other countries, like don't do anything and they're still getting deported for no reason.
I have a lot of Mexican friends. My friend recently got taken from ICE back in McMinnville, and same with his barber. So like, I'm just out here for that and stuff.
Students at other Beaverton District high schools also walked out today.
Nice signs. Is that?
Yeah, I love that no one's. Go ahead. Is that the same thing? I don't know. But it's saying that it was multiple cities. So I'm sure that's part of the wave that we're observing here. And it is people dealing with their own contradictions. Like your classmates are getting disappeared. This is a common thing. We talk about like America's image making and its fifth wing of the military being its media apparatus, its propaganda that it spreads throughout the world. And so when I talk to students and I think like, what is your normal everyday experience as an American student? Like all this stuff, even on the media, is not seen. Like America's been telling the same high school stories since my dad was a kid. You know, like I saw Wednesday Addams. I don't know if it was an Addams Family show where her brother Pugsley gets put in a locker. And like there are jocks with Lettermans. Like America is stuck in that. Like how many high schools have y'all go? That doesn't happen. Like you have to have big enough lockers. You gotta have these jocks who are still stuck in like this 1950s masculinity, and they shove like a kid in a locker. Like it's just crazy. And that is the American experience that they keep repeating in their media endlessly. Meanwhile, if you ask like top 3 things, what are you worried about as a kid? It's like what? School shootings. My classmate might get taken by ICE. And I have to go through metal detectors and have clear backpacks in school, and they're surveilling me, like on my camera, like what we saw with Taki Allen, that I have Doritos during football practice and the police came because of AI. Like this is the actual reality if we were to sit in round table with American students now, but that's never going to be seen on film. So I just love that people are active this way. I love the signs we saw that you pointed out. One that we see here is it says the RNC and DNC both fund ICE, both will pay. That was a high school student saying that. So, yeah, man.
I see Erica has a well, I guess I'm late, but the Chicago raid in context connecting the wars at home abroad with Black Agenda Report.
Go ahead and no, I haven't. Go ahead and link that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in, but I haven't actually read it yet, but I just saw it looking up, and I'm pretty sure Erica might have talked about it on one of the shows if she's still on. But yeah, nope.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm happy that they're doing this. Obviously, student organizing is something that can be really precarious if the administration wants to start expelling people, banning the protests, all of those things. But I think when the youth have enough energy, when the contradictions are high enough because their classmates are getting snatched, they're going to do this. You can't really stop it. So I'm interested. We are in Minnesota, which gets us to this next discussion. So I'm glad the Minneapolis thing got brought up. But we know Trump is going after Minnesota and after our Somali family and claiming that they've taken over Minneapolis. And so I don't know if you've seen the memes, but a lot of Somali people have been posting videos of them in Minnesota saying this land was promised to us 2,000 years ago, like the Israelis. Yeah, I wish I had the clip, but they're having some fun with this idea that they're invading Minnesota and places like that. So I think that'll be the last story we cover today. I'm sure we're in overtime. Let's see. The Promised Land, Somali Americans flips Trump attack into global meme. Sharing that now. After Trump's calls, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Now, again, we know that these are colonizers, yo. So it's obviously not how we want to reimagine Black people, but it is funny because it reveals what we know, which is that there's no illegal people on stolen land. And I'm glad I saw one of the youth have that sign as well. So after Trump calls Somalis garbage, and yes, we have, how many clips now do we have of Trump calling every single Black
country.
immigrant country, yeah, like garbage, shit, or all of these things. So this Mayflower AI is hilarious. Again, AI's got its problems, but if we're gonna meme, let's make them good. This is my Maisa Mustafa. He called them garbage and told them to go back. Again, ignoring the political economy of these areas where Somali communities live. And we know that so-called illegal immigrants are almost always a benefit to the economies they're a part of because they do labor for a low wage. Wow, no way. He has this harsh tirade. He says he doesn't want anything to do with them. He's going after Ilhan Omar. What else is new? They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country. I'll be honest with you. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking garbage into our country, says Donald Trump. The least racist man is how he talks about himself. Somali Americans in the broader diaspora have embraced the viral joke and say that the state was promised to them millennia ago, and they are indigenous to Minnesota, a playful nod to the rhetoric used to justify Israel's claim to Palestine. And then, of course, they have a lot of memes to that effect. Mm-hmm. Not many people know Abraham Lincoln's grandfather was of Somali descent and was one of the real founding fathers.
Bro, you know what's crazy? When I saw the story when you was reading it, and again I didn't connect it at first, but it just reminded me of again some of those land steal and transfer. Like in 1683, the Maryland and Virginia 50-acre land grants, it was awarded to white settlers who paid their own passage across the Atlantic. And the reason why they said they wasn't given to Africans because they had free passage. And so they could they didn't pay their own way. they got transport. They got forced to come over here. So it's but y'all ain't pay your own way. So the policy is only for people who paid their own way. That shit crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Also, I don't know if Deculturation's live in the chat still want to keep praising dude, but the settler realism, this idea that settlers cannot actually accept their history in this country and that is going to constantly put them out of alignment with global South movements internationally, and then the internal colonies here, right? But one thing that comes up for me is this idea that every generation, even if you're a European coming in the 20th century, is coming to be a settler. If you're coming to be an American citizen, right? You said if you did not get that free passage that you're talking about, Geechee, that you are a settler. That is what that means. You're coming to contribute to the American project. Now we have to talk about different people displaced by imperialism in different ways, right? Because I don't think Haitians are settlers, because the U.S. directly occupied and took over Haiti to force them here. So there's things about that, but I do just like, I know a lot of people like to avoid, well, I wasn't here with the Mayflower. Well, I wasn't here during this. My grandparents came in 1935. Yes, and they were here to become U.S. citizens as a part of the settler project, which is what we see. So I appreciate them having fun with this. This post reminds me of the conspiracies, though, Geechee, where you talked about you just talking to niggas about conspiracies. The one I get a lot is that all the presidents are related. I don't know if you've ever heard that one, but it's all the presidents except Donald Trump are related, is one I've heard before. Oh, and Alexander Hamilton gets away too. So
and then now what you gonna do? You gonna fight them or not? Whether they cousins or they brothers or they don't know each other, how we gonna get them motherfuckers out of power? That's what I need.
How does Obama? I hate that this. That's what I mean when they be so far right with the conspiracies. I hate that you make me defend Obama. How does Obama get put in relation to all these crackers and not Trump? That shit blew my mind. I was like,
listen. When my one of my homeboys, when he came home from vacation, he was reading on all those, his vacation time. He was like, "Yo, I done figured it out, man. The blacks laws and this and this." I'm like, all right, but they had which year you was reading? The one in 19, this one, or the one that happened before? And yeah, man, we just gotta get our EIN number and all right, bro.
Yo, man. Yeah. and another thing, someone already pointed out, they're being satirical. This is fun. They are making fun of these things. They don't actually believe, which is also the biggest difference between them and settlers. That's the entire point. Somali people don't actually think like this. And we always talk in our community about the black people who have been propagandized and confused to think like this, because they're seen as like fringe conspiracy theorists in our community. But in the white community, this is mainstream. This be my whole point. Like in the white community, this is normal, accepted things. They still can't get past the pilgrims. Whereas we are parodying this. So I get these discussions sometimes about like black people and our patriotism. Now we're the most American of it all. Again, like a dead end strategy that liberals like King already showed you doesn't work. But I always point out that like black people, we can be smart. We always say two things at once. We're always understanding that there's a message under the message, overstand, that kind of thing. So this idea that we can use America's mythology against them is very common. So I see people point out that the Black Panthers cited the Declaration of Independence. I think even Ho Chi Minh talks about them looking toward it as a document for inspiration. But again, that just ignores the fact that they are hiding the contradictions, because we know that this shit is bullshit. Because the Somalis know that these Americans came to Independence Hall in 1776 were stealing land. So that's the whole thing. I love this article. It's so funny, especially seeing Somali people dressed like what it is like in that region of Africa, right? And yet juxtaposing that with this snowy ass background and saying it's the promised land shows you how it looks like when white Israelis are in the Middle East and are tanning and sunburnt and can't survive in that weather, but say it was promised to them thousands of years ago. So great story. People will argue Abraham Lincoln is African, but don't know what the Whig Party or radical Republicans of the South. Yeah, again, outside of hiding the contradictions, like John Henry Clark used to do, where he would talk about like, oh, all of these presidents are black. He was just saying according to their standards, but he was not trying to actually claim these people. So yeah, I think Abraham Lincoln might have had, I don't know, some Native ancestry or something like that, but I don't think Native people want to claim Abraham Lincoln.
Whig history, Whigs history according to the Whigs.
The wigs.
White.
Yeah, I know. Play the video, someone asked. All right, Yipper. All right. I'll play it. I get it. So yeah. His birthright trip. So good fun from throughout the diaspora. I think we covered a good amount today. Glad we got into some news. Want to start moving toward a close. Any other stories on your heart today, Geechee? Anything in the chat that they wanted us to comment on that we might have missed? I know they've already been having Diddy discourse and remix this week. You talked about that. I'm gonna make my way through the documentary tonight, y'all. I'm through the first 2 episodes. Whoo boy, I gotta finish.
Bro, I gotta, you know, I don't know. I be missing all this shit. I don't even. I mean, I guess I know why, but like, I'll see it in my periphery and be like, oh, this thing is happening. And then they'd be like Sheree, let me know about that documentary. I was like, what? No, it's real. And they like,
yeah.
So
you and your partner gotta, if you got some free time and you don't want to turn. I mean, I can't. People say turn your brain off, right? And I kind of hear that, but you can't with this. I can't turn my brain off.
Not
There's
possible.
Too much going on, man. The Pac Biggie reveal already is a mess. The first episode, just like the background, the making Diddy, all the context, all of it. It's too much to think about. I couldn't do it all. I know people on Remix were like, yeah, I binged it in one night. I couldn't do it. The episodes are long too. They're like an hour, but each one I had to chew on it. There's too many things going on. There's too many reveals at once. You know how we are. We want to run sheet it and rabbit hole it. So I'm already trying to Google stuff on the side. Like, wait a minute, I heard that. And then Jerry's whole thing with that reporter who talks about Tupac and the Freedom of Information Act and how he's got like 2,000 pages of FBI files and things like that. I'm very suspicious about that element of the story because the LAPD come in and all they really do is get a confession and they're nowhere to be found throughout this entire documentary so far. Like the police department, they're just there. They just show up after crimes and after people are dead and they have no idea what's going on. Nothing about Diddy being an informant so far. So maybe spoilers, maybe people can talk about that. But in that episode, I highly recommend people check it out, where Jared talks with this reporter about Tupac. You learn he was surveilled since he was a teen. There are thousands of pages of FBI files that got released on him. And there were informants involved in his demise. And I believe one of the things was that Diddy was one of those informants. So the documentary does kind of make very clear what they think Diddy's role is. But the state is just in the wind, in the background here. So but definitely check it out.
You know, one of the things that and I probably mentioned this before, when I listened to Jared and his brother go through learning history about their father via FBI files and stuff like that, and we talk about like archivists and journalists and all these other things, and then like how we got to learn about stuff via them. It's almost like, and then so because I'm thinking about like I finished Hubert Harrison. Harry Haywood too, but Hubert Harrison's book Brian wrote, and then Ashley writing Queen Mother Moore, and then Ashley specifically talking about, but both of them, how detailed they were with Adley Moore's life. And you can even see like the patriarchal misogyny, like you can see it because it's like the way and what they was sharing, like Ashley had to intentionally leave some of that out in her book because she believed in some level of privacy. Now, with Hubert Harrison, it's kind of like things were erased, whatever. But one of the investigators, right? Because again, in these movements, there's always people who are in the movement, but you don't know that they are actually somewhere else. Like they're coming from somewhere else because you just accept them in the movement. And so some of the agents that was in the movement, they used to write like, all these niggas talking about Garvey, but this Hubert Harrison nigga, like he's the biggest influence of all these people. And then again, the erasure happened. And then again, there's people that go unnamed. And again, I'm just thinking about how we literally have to piece together information about our people from the pieces of information that we get from these motherfuckers who still kind of control the narrative. So even when we get our information, and this kind of goes back to when we was talking about me, Jared, and my brother, I'm losing his name right now. I don't know why, who ran with the Green Party, Butch. When Butch was like, we had those feelings about Islam, a lot of us in these black spaces, because of what all of our scholars said about Islam, including John Henry Clark. But all of those people was only reading white people. He's like, oh, damn, we didn't really think about like the source of John Henry Clark. We just think John Henry Clark and that's our source. And so it's like this archivists and journalists, like, anyway, again, maybe I've been in my Amos bag, and sometimes it's like when we think about warriors and fighters, we really think about like the street niggas and niggas with a nice analysis, and it's like the researcher and the archivist, like the psychologist, like some of these people we just cannot really think that they how important they are to the movement and to the space. So yeah, that's kind of how I was thinking of that.
Nah, it's super important. I mean, Kenneth Clark's psychology research and his wife, I'm forgetting her name, but and I should look that up just so I can be clear, because they both did the research, so they both should be credited. But the Clark-Doll test and that kind of thing was revolutionary for psychology. You know, so there's what Clark-Doll. I'm gonna get the names. So Kenneth and Mamie Clark. There we go.
Yeah, Mamie.
And
I was about to say Mamie, but I know there was a couple people named Mamie, so I didn't want to.
Yeah. Thank you to the chat. And first off, John Potash, the FBI war on Tupac Shakur. That's the thing it was named on. I wanted to. Oh, go ahead, Gigi.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I always be doing that. But yeah, Dr.
Yes, archival warfare. I think that gets back to what we were saying about owning the puppet factory, right? In the first place, like if you have the archivist, if you're doing war at that level, like you have a upstream effect, so you can, or it has a downstream effect. Sorry, so you hurry upstream, you cut it off before it can even become a movement, and then it never really takes root and that kind of thing. I definitely hear you, Revolutionary Women's Radio. I agree. And that's why I said it was hard for me. Like, we should never encourage people to turn their brains off. If you need a rest, do that, but don't shut off your brain. I'm sorry, there's something insidious about trauma as a form of entertainment. We can use it to learn and generate conversation, but I always want to be mindful of this. Yeah, like that. That's why I can't do all the episodes back to back. There's a sexual assault in the first episode that already needs to be reckoned with. And then there's murder and sexual assault in the second episode. So yes, definitely not like I'm saying binge. I'm saying watch it with your partner in the sense that it's like this true crime documentary thing that you shouldn't take all that seriously. But I do want to highlight this point too. Yeah, definitely. Not. Yes, we putting in overtime today. We putting in this OT. We got a little time. We've been chopping it up. But you had this thing on narrative warfare that made me remember. What was it? Oh, what you were saying. I think there's like a dialectic here with the CIA and the Alphabet Boys, where it's like they have a lot of resources and intense detail and surveillance to the level that most people will never be aware of. But at the same time, they're also like idiots, like, for lack of a better word. They're like bubbling morons who make a lot of mistakes and want to rule the world, and it's an impossible task. So that's the main thing, is that they have an impossible task to take on. And so with Queen Mother Moore, I think you're already pointing out in the record, they have their own racist, misogynist ways of even viewing these people that limits their ability to understand why these people are effective in the first place. So I'm excited for y'all's Queen Mother Moore interview. Shout out Tandy for Rootwork that did one. We've had other, Jared did a Ashley Farmer interview. I think I helped with that one, actually. So all of that on the record, but these people still mess up a lot. And so I actually listened to Robert Allen's interview on this platform a couple days ago, Black Awakening in Capitalist America. And he talks about the secret list that the state had of activists that they would activate if they ever needed to protect against national security threats or something. And they would instantly put these people in concentration camps. And Robert Allen was on that list. So again, very scary. He talked about writing Black Awakening in Capitalist America before they knew what COINTELPRO was, even though the Panthers were saying, we're being surveilled, there's a conspiracy. Nobody knew what it was, and then the media was lying. and saying it wasn't a thing. And then he goes on to say he finally got access to his files and got to read them, and he said they weren't accurate. You know, like he was saying it was funny that they definitely were keeping track of him. So some of the things, like he went to China, he went to Cuba for the Venceremos Brigade, he was working with young black boys in Oakland. Like they had some of those pieces, but he was like, when they described his book, for example, they had read it, they had tried to summarize the premise. Some poor agent had to sit through that, and they said, this book argues the premise that black people are an internal colony, correct? And so they are going to seek a form of natural liberation. Natural was their word. And he was like, I'm glad they call it natural liberation, but the book was about national liberation. So these are just like the kind of errors. He just points out there's a lot of those. He's like, I didn't talk to this person. I didn't say it this way. So while they have an intense amount of surveillance, some agent has to go there and sift through that shit and decide a plan of action. And that's why they're casting a really broad net, and it's not going to be perfect. Is my main point.
I'm gonna translate that into some Uwa language. Peace, kings and queens. See, your mind is powerful, and they can't outthink you with their AI or their agents. You feel me? So, kings and queens, you had to go back to the times when you can analyze and think higher, right? That's why, you know, even high is like not like weed high, but like thinking higher on a higher level, and you got to tap back into that. You know what I mean? Like what they try. That's all I got for y'all.
8 out of 10. You need more repetition. You got to say the same thing 3 times. You gotta repeat it. You gotta repeat it at the end. Otherwise, it's not gonna hit.
My bad.
Well done. Yes, and then demands. This is where see. This is where we grift badly. We are not that good at. You need the repetition, and you gotta. It's not in my soul to randomly just grift people for money. But the way they have that like, share, subscribe, they have that in the back of their brain, Geechee. Like anywhere they go, you see these people active in the community, and they're still telling you, donate here, buy this shit. It's crazy to me, man. Crazy. So yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I mean that's how Umar would put it, and I would just be like, they don't have the manpower or energy to sit a bunch of people at desks and actually have them sort through this data. That's why they're trying to push for it. That's why Trump and them, with all these executive orders and statements on the national security, surveillance of domestic terrorists, all of they're trying to do is build this infrastructure, build this wide net. I think the video went viral this week of this person asking about Antifa, FBI probe, and he couldn't answer basic questions. Here we go. I got it for us.
Hold on, man. Let me get my do-over, man.
Yeah.
But before y'all go, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just send me some money at my Cash App, $ my Cash App. You know what I mean? So we there, higher levels of thinking.
You got it. Yep. And then a little more shame because if y'all had donated, we would be there already. If y'all had to put that money you put into Chat GPT into us, I would have already built an AI for black people. There we go. That's how we got to shame our people.
Yeah, because y'all donating to the wrong Patreon and not donating to the shit that we on. You get it?
There it is.
That's it.
Support the black man.
I'm gonna pick this shit up.
We take it in crypto too. We take it. I said Reggie Middleton. We the crypto kings. We're gonna work on our guru pitches. This video. Hold on. Okay, so this is, and people love these grillings, and these are the things that end up making some of our folks fall in love with the Democrats again. We got to be wary of that, like with Jasmine Crockett and things. So it is great when they do grill these people. AOC, it happened as well, but they're grilling them and they're on the same team. So we just got to remember that. But it is important sometimes to watch these people get grilled. So I appreciated this week. Let's check it out.
So where is Antifa headquartered?
What we're doing right now with the organization.
Where in the United States does Antifa exist? If it's a terrorist organization and you've identified it as number one.
We are building out the infrastructure right now.
So what does that mean?
They building out the infrastructure for Antifa?
We're trying to get the information. You say Antifa is a terrorist organization. Tell us, the committee, how did you come to that? Where do they exist? How many members do they have in the United States as of right now?
Well, that's very fluid. It's ongoing for us to understand that. The same, no different than Al Qaeda and ISIS.
No, I don't want you. I'll ask one question, sir. I just want you to tell us. If you said Antifa is the #1 domestic terrorist organization operating in the United States, I just need to know where they are. I don't want a name. I don't want anything like that. Just how many people have you identified with the FBI that Antifa is made of?
Well, the investigations are active.
So you wouldn't come to this committee and say something you can't prove. I know you wouldn't do that.
Come on, Trevor.
But you did.
But you did. Shout out, man. That was great.
Can we clip that? I know you wouldn't do that, but you did.
That's got to be a new drop. No question. That was fantastic. Now,
wouldn't do that.
This reveals the contradiction, y'all. So this is why it's amazing, right? Because all we say on the left as revolutionaries is that you just have to keep that same energy with everybody. And when you do that, you look like Glenn Ford. And that ends up being the problem. You look like Bruce Dixon and Margaret Kimberly. If you keep that same energy for the Democrats and the Republicans and any elected official, it's cool. But he's going to have all this energy, all this smoke, all these things. And then if you ask the Democrats the same kind of bullshit they were on, why is Hunter Biden smoking crack in Ukraine? All these questions, they just disappear. There's not the same energy. I appreciate it. It was very materialist, right? You claim there's an enemy. Let's ground it. Where are they? Where are their numbers? How are they operating? You're intelligence. You're intelligence, and you can't answer 3 basic questions about an enemy. It already reveals it's an illusion. So I appreciate when we get that, and that's how we have to use. Sometimes the Democrats go at the Republicans that way, or a Republican administration, and we get some reveals. And then sometimes it's actually the reverse, unfortunately. So sometimes Republicans will go after Democrats for their own self-serving reasons and realize there are certain contradictions. So there'll be some of these interviews where a Republican will still point out certain contradictions, and we don't want to run from that. We just got to apply it to both parties. But that was great to watch this week. I appreciated that one. So having an old black granddad do these questions, again, that's how it's amazing. But then we just can't fall for the okie doke, because they'll have black granddad do it. They'll have young Latina politician like AOC do it. They'll have a young black woman do it. They know what we like to see, and they know what goes viral. This was posted by PBS. I think that clip I just shared. So we all playing the algorithm game, even PBS. Oh man, we did a lot. We went 30 minutes overtime. What you got going on this week, Ichi, or this weekend?
Man, I going to see my grandmama. And my grandma gonna be, she just turned 82 today.
Shout out, maternal or paternal.
I'm going to see her, and there's many of the 9 or 8 sisters that she have, all my little grand aunts and them. So that's what I'm going to do.
Is that your mama's side or your dad's side?
Yeah, my mother's mother. My mother's mother is there. So I'm going to see all of those folks, and then getting prepared for next week vacation. So I'll also be out of town about it there. So we see if we can get some shoe-ins for all the shows I be on. So how about you? What you got going on?
Well, my alarm is going off, and they're saying it's an emergency alert. I don't know if it's a test or not. I'm gonna have to check my email, so we'll see if I have to evacuate. I'm also about to check on my maternal grandma who's visiting, so I want to say hi to her, give her some love. And program is slowing down for Blackman Bill, but I've already mentioned, you have a copy of it, but our wartime, our Malcolm X Centennial Edition is coming out. Be on the lookout at our hubs, but also nationally. It's going to be it is a beautiful magazine. It's an amazing work. And then the Malcolm X Centennial Study Guide is coming out after that. So I just want to point both of those things out. I've already said before, if you haven't, check out the Centennial version of the study guide, the 35th anniversary reprint that we have. Oh, that's coming. Hold on. The new one's coming. Okay, wait a minute. The new one's coming. Y'all saw a little bit of the artwork, a little bit of the sneak peek. But I always want to plug this for people over the holidays, just for some study and opportunity for reflection so we could come in sharp next year. But that's what I got. Check out the Malcolm X study guide. Check out Black Men Build Wartime, and check on your grandma.
Yeah.
The link in the chat.
Heavy on the grandma chat.
Absolutely.
So really quickly, when I went to Guatemala a little minute back, I had this hibiscus rice. And as soon as I had it, I said, I'm gonna make that shit when I get home, and I did. So the hibiscus obviously is just like making up coconut rice. You just boil the rice. I don't think you gotta do it from the start, because I don't do it from the start. I boil it a little bit, and then I boil the rest in like hibiscus water or tea, hibiscus tea, you want to call them. And yeah, you just boil it in the water, and they'll have this aromatic hibiscus flavored rice. And then if you wash the flowers of the hibiscus off really well, you can cook that, and that has a fleshy thing. So you can have hibiscus quesadillas. It can be like a fried junk. You can have it in the stir fry. But yeah, pasta.
That sounds delicious.
Pasta. I don't know about pasta. I don't know what I do with that.
Well, it's hibiscus rice or pasta. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't know. What I know is I gotta go make some breakfast. So peace, y'all. If you're willing to fight for it, as Jared says, as Chairman Fairhampton used to say. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy your weekend. We out.
Peace, Black.
Remix. 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 Remix.